We send it by saying YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another POWERCREEP podcast. We got the co-hosts in the building, starting with Tweaks.
What's up, fellas?
And Demos, the Demented Panda.
What's up?
No Crypt. Crypt has disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't even know if he exists anymore. What's going on?
Who knows?
Who knows? We miss you, buddy. But we're going to talk about Last Cloudia regardless. And I don't really have an intro segment other than, I guess, thank you guys again for being patient with us. I know that the podcast was supposed to air yesterday. Originally, something came up for your boy. I was like, Tweaks, you want to host it? And he said, well, let's just push it to tomorrow. So thank you guys for waiting. I know you guys have been in here hyped to hear our thoughts on who you can see on the screen. Maylymare, everyone, not Maylai.
It's Maylai, dude.
Totally
Maylai.
I'm here to correct you all on how to say it. Maylai is actually the proper pronunciation, Tweaks. I don't know if you know this, but
Damn, no, I've been pronouncing it wrong my entire life, you know.
I know.
You win some and lose some, right?
You win some, you lose some. But we have Maylymare, Advocate of God, to Lilaha. Hello, Alex. Thank you for subscribing. In the game, we went through a couple title changes to this podcast because originally I thought she was going to be your favorite unit, Tweaks. I had no doubt in my mind, but she's not. You corrected me on that. She's not your favorite unit of all time.
Oh, of all time? No.
I just know that Logia was your favorite unit, right?
Yeah.
He was. And I know you love ailment spamming.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the newest version of a modern ailment spammer that we have, as everyone knows already. Panda, you are infatuated with her.
I love her so much.
Yeah. I think,
There it is.
I think Panda loves her more than Tweaks. So I got that wrong.
Definitely.
100%.
But I mean,
Undisputed.
yeah, let's just appreciate the artwork. I mean, the whole scissor thing that she's got going on, it's cool. I can't deny it. It's pretty dope that she has two swords that
Yeah,
become
her
scissors.
whole thing about using scissors, I find that super cool. Like, we have not had a unit with just literally just Edward Scissorhands' little sister, which is super cool.
Who's the author of that, or the writer of that? He's famous as shit. Edward Allan Poe. Am I right?
Edgar Allan Poe? I have no idea,
Is that
honestly.
his word? Isn't it? Oh, shit.
But no, there's I think isn't that like some anime with like some chick and using scissors? Isn't that like Kill la Kill or something like that?
Oh, probably. I wouldn't doubt
But
it.
yeah, super cool.
She looks cool. Her artwork's dope. I mean, she's an advocate of God. It's hard to screw up that kind of design, you know? Just kind of badass in nature.
Her battle end animation is one of my
Tim
favorites in the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Can't deny that. It's she. Listen, they've been doing. I will give them props lately. Their sprite to art transformation. You know, as much as we hated on like last year the terrible sprites into arts like Baron and Rabala that happened, they've done the last few units, at least to my memory. This one, Shimilim, Shivrimuru, have all been fantastic sprite versus art. So they kept it along with her. Her sprite's fantastic. So credit where it's due.
I mean, we knew her sprite was going to be dope from when we saw her in story.
Yeah, but they could have janked it up like 1,000 times. They could have janked it up.
The
harder.
sprite?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I'm glad they didn't, but she's sick. Opposed, I mean, here's the thing. As sometimes non-positive, our last podcast was. This one might be a little bit different because she's pretty awesome.
So, I don't know. You guys keep talking. I'm having technical difficulties. Hold on.
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, your back turned to the whole audience. Like, you're just like,
I apologize. I'm just a mess this week. I'm just a mess this week, man. Ever since I put on these glasses, it's just been downhill.
Oh man, too much going straight to your head, and that's it.
I guess so. I needed the blue light. The lack of blue light's affecting my brain. But yes, yesterday. Let's see, look, I can't even talk. Last week was a very salty podcast. But to be fair, kind of going back to that, did you guys see that Barlene said those units were designed ages ago?
No.
That would
You
make a
didn't
lot
see
of
that?
sense.
I
Didn't see
could
it,
have
no.
sworn I
I
saw.
don't think. I don't know if that's totally. I don't know if I believe that too much.
Okay. And I
They're
could be
pretty.
wrong.
They're pretty well made. You mean the last collab units that came out?
I may not have had the full context, but I remember lurking in the LC Discord and seeing that he mentioned something about they've been working on the collab since like 2020. But
Sure, and that makes total sense. But
yeah,
I think Reamer is very current and very usable in the current meta and stuff like that. So I don't really buy that. They might have been working there for a long time, but there's always testing that goes into using units.
reworking and whatnot.
Yeah, they easily could have made her. I mean, there was just very simple things that they could have made shift mill and for her to be as like power creep as possible, but they decided not to. So
Don't
that's a
even need
design
Ark.
choice. That's a
Oh.
design choice, not really a past thing.
Fair enough. Well, let's leave that in the past and move on to a much more positive, exciting, and fun podcast, I think, getting into a Melee and a big ol' update.
Scissor Girl, let's go.
So-
Yeah, tons of stuff in this update. Some good quality of life stuff. Some interesting events. I find it interesting that there's not really an event for her. Like,
That bummed me out so much.
I know, right?
The first
Like,
time I was like, oh shit, I like
just-
this unit.
Just real
I'm gonna
quick,
do the
yeah, we
event.
have the
Nope.
Trials of Summon Beast and we have Beast Mania, but these aren't really like melee events. These are like
Not at all.
new quality of life, like recurring event stuff. I was really hoping for a melee event for sure. Now, we didn't have a Loug Zeus event either whenever he came out, like a big unit.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did.
We did?
We got basically an entire mini story segment of the events directly following the end of Arc 1.
Hmm.
Because that's what explained the little miniature-sized Loug Zeus that we play as.
Not gonna lie, I skipped literally all the story.
I don't expect you to be the lore master.
Do I
So-
remember that? Absolutely not.
Right. But it did happen. I think this is the first, like, new DOH character that does not have a spotlight event.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by that.
Me too, because she's pretty hype.
I do wish she had like a really solid stage where you could use her against like a boss or something.
Conspiracy theory. You
Yeah.
think it's because they rushed her?
I mean, at this point, I don't really care if they rush her or not. Like,
That's
as
like,
a unit for
We need to get something in there before anniversary, but we don't have an event yet. This one's ready. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
mean,
possible.
what did they had two DOHs in between last year's collab rerun and anniversary. So she's one of potentially two. Because remember,
Guess what we're-
guys,
Guess what we're expecting in 2 weeks?
expected another DOH.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they are spitfiring units currently, and they're probably that's their focus is releasing units. Content is second to that, and they get to what they get on the update
Yeah,
days.
I think you might have something there. They might be just throwing out units just because they want to get to a certain point for anniversary and having these units ahead of time, like the ones that they've been releasing. They're just trying to get off their plate. So
On the flip side,
I don't hate it.
what if we're gonna have a pretty big story update where having
Yeah.
her on our team makes sense?
Mm-hmm. That's what I think. I think that's going to align a lot with what their overall plan is.
I
So.
think I see what you're getting at.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, she's pretty sick. I think a lot of people who have gotten her have realized that. Actually, I do think a lot of the community has not realized how broken ailments are.
Well, not the new community. I think a lot of new
Right.
players.
We haven't had a unit since really V and Logia that have been just concentrating on ailments and how truly broken they can be.
And that was what DMC was last. That was last year. It's been a full year.
Yep.
Full year. Even Logia was almost 2 years ago at this point. Year and 8 months ish. So a lot of people's first introduction to ailments, and she is a damn good one at that. Yeah, and the only issue with her is her full power comes out in external additions to her kit. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but let's get into her because she's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
I gotta go find her on the page, which I am just going to fail at miserably.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
filter.
This is going to be a long podcast. I'm just going to let y'all know right off the bat, unless
There she is.
we
Holy
steam
smokes,
through a lot of the info, but
I think
That's
she
not
deserves her
happening.
time. So
she deserves her time. We have the stone
talk about it.
updates. We got a lot.
I'll tell you this: she deserves more time than we gave Milim.
Agreed.
That was
I
what, an hour and a
second
half.
that.
we we did draw that out a little bit, but we were busy killing people with Gobble instead. So what are you gonna do? All right, so Melee, she is the newest awesome unit that just came to Last Cloudia type God. Some pretty interesting things here. I'm gonna take these off here. She is nil to curse, and nil to curse and illness right off the bat.
That's really nice.
That's really nice for places like Arena, Ashore. Of course, ailments don't really happen that much outside of Arena. Maybe in like the Pablo fight for illness, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, pretty nice ailments. But let's talk about her kits or her skills. So she has 3 interesting skills here, and they work a little bit differently. Her S1. If you guys have played like Ed and who's
Rimuru?
another like Ed's S1, yeah, not even Rimuru's S1.
No.
Rimuru's S1's pretty fast, but kind of like that. It travels on the ground. It'll hit enemies up. It's non-line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of nice. It also has a chance to blind, which is sweet. Soul Torture, her S2 is these are 5. Were they 5, 12, and 15? I think it was something like that. I
5,
don't
12,
have
15.
the
That
5,
sounds
12, 15.
right.
Her S2 is a little dash. It's going to be like your normal, like we talk about, like a cone shape charge. It's got to be in the relative area. It's not a warp or anything. She's got to be relatively close, and then she can jump in and do her skill. Chance to get curse is always nice. So we've already seen a theme here. She's giving ailments on the curse. Now, what does this mean exactly? It doesn't mean every hit on the skill has a chance to give that ailment. It's one hit of the skill. So at a certain point in the skill, I don't know which one it is. It's like usually towards the latter end of the skill. They have a chance to give on one of the hits. Like they're usually a 10 or a 20% chance to give that ailment.
Really?
So, yeah.
It's not like
just every hit of the
research
skill being a
on
research.
us.
No.
It's not. Okay.
And that's consistent with most units who have applicable ailments in their skills.
That's good to know, though.
Mm-hmm. So if you miss like one of the latter hits, you're like can get hit out of it. It's not gonna have a chance to proc it at all.
Right.
So keep that in mind. But her S3 is pretty nutty. It is a complete warp.
And I like
Teleport
that it's
above enemy for a
above
medium
the
area like
enemy.
combo attack. Yeah. So if a unit, and when I've done this a little bit, if a unit is regular attacking, you are on the ground. You're probably not gonna get hit by it. Maybe like an AoE skill that hits a burst in front of them, you'll probably get hit by and interrupted, but it does warp above them. Like it's not super high, but it's pretty sweet. I'm pretty sure that's the first time we've ever seen that. Anytime we've ever had a warp before, it's warping directly into the enemy's face or behind them, and this is above them. So
It stood out
kind
to
of
me
important.
as unique.
yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Chance to give Exsanguinate and blind resistance debuff. So Exsanguinate, this is her main debuff, notably a debuff, not an ailment. Exsanguinate is a debuff that she's going to be applying on enemies that kind of enables her whole kit. So only having it on an S3 is a bit tough, especially like I talked before, only one hit of the skill has a chance to hit it. I think it's a pretty high hit skill. It's either 10 or 20%. It feels pretty nice, the actual numbers or the actual application rate. So I'm not sure exactly. We're going to have to get back from Lake, but it's not bad. The fact that it has Exsanguinate only on there for now. But the second part Blind resistance debuff. This is a stackable, unique debuff that we've never seen before. That will be given to an enemy and reduce blind resistance by -1. Now, why is this crazy? This is the first time we've had a stackable use of this. So you can normally apply a Nullmouth, drop the enemy's ailment resistance down 1. Well, this goes and stacks with that and goes down 1 further. So not only do enemies have to be +3 to not get debuffed to blind to protect from a Nulla, they have to be +4 in order to like not get blinded.
I'm
to
wondering,
guarantee themselves not get blinded. So
Yeah.
I see future use of this. I feel like other units will probably have this, but I do only hope that this is innate. This is just unique and innate to her, and like we don't get much more of that because I do not want to see bosses have +4 to resistances. By the way, people who don't know, we consider there's 0, which is 0 res, and I want to go to summary. 0, which is 0 res, which is what we see on stun and silence.
Yep.
+1 is called resist, and this is you still have a slight chance of getting debuffs whenever it's like halved chances. Nil means they're 100% nil. So they're never going to be able to get that debuff. So you want to be able to drop this nil down to res. This is res is a +1. Nil and anything higher is going to show up at either +2, +3, +4. But if you can drop that nil from +2 down to res with a Nullmouth, then you can apply the ailment. If their bosses have innately +3, which means if you use a Nulla, they'll still be nil. But now this brings into the matter of fact of if they're nil and they're +3, you can actually drop them and still apply ailments, which is super cool because there's a lot of enemies in the game and a lot of bosses in the game that if you blind them, they become totally inept at dealing any damage because blind is pretty much a 50% miss rate for physical attacks. So that's pretty dope. Blind is one of the more effective ones in the fact that she gets it on her S3 has a chance to do for a debuff. That's pretty dope.
It is. And I wonder how many people were like me and just stopped reading at blind and didn't finish resistance debuff. So you're not inflicting blind with her S3. You're lowering that resistance literally to blind. So
I'll be honest, when I looked at Tweaks' little picture of the overview, that was the first thing I looked at. I was like, did he get the S3 right? And he did, and I was so proud for a second.
Nice. I did it. I read it, but
yeah. But yeah, I hope that was helpful for people, putting the explanations of like in her innate kit, how she can apply each ailment. She doesn't have the best ways to apply each. She has a chance on everyone, but just not the best ways.
shout out if you aren't in the Discord, or I think you posted on Reddit too.
I put it on Facebook and Reddit too. So
Facebook and Reddit. So any of the social media platforms, Tweaks has consistently been making like a one image chart with all of the info. And was this your first character that you kind of went crazy with all that extra detail?
A little bit, because I feel like, again, like we talked about before, most people have not had an introduction to ailments. And so I wanted to make sure that it was very, very clear as to what she has in her kit that she can apply and how to do it.
I'm going to get that resource and put it in the description while y'all keep talking.
Yeah. Cool. Now, let's talk about her special, because this is interesting. I don't love units that lean on their special too hard, especially with a unit that is unfortunately single target alt, right? So we have powerful light combo tech to an enemy, giving sanguinate, lose HP when using skills, and chance to curse. This is a single target alt, which is okay. Like if you're going to be using against bosses and having utility, right? Utility alts are sick. I don't mind single target utility alts. The issue is that I totally wish it was AoE, because the giving sanguinate part is guaranteed. It's guaranteed to give that debuff. No enemy in the game can resist that debuff. So if you hit them with your ult, they're 100% going to get sanguinate. And I just wish it was AoE so I could apply it the entire map. That's all. But it does have a high chance to give curse as well. So definitely applicable getting enemies on a curse, because curse, if anybody knows, curse is one of the more powerful ones as well. Nukes the enemy potency, locking in their skills like you can. Once you get cursed, you just can't use skills. So definitely very, very usable. But sad that it's single target, but I don't think we're going to lean into that. Now, I will mention just a quick review of what she has. Exsanguinate is very important to her kit, and the only thing she has right now to apply it are a chance on S3 and a single target alt guaranteed application of it. So realistically, the only way to apply Exsanguinate right now is on her S3. Now, I'm going to mention something that if you cannot get her paids, a very important aspect to her kit and applying Exsanguinate, she is not the only unit in the game that can apply Exsanguinate. Okay, I'm gonna go real quick and just outside of this show you Robula. Robula, if you're going to want to cap or force this Exsanguinate stuff, her trait too, the Wicked Tempest, chance for Earth attacks to inflict Exsanguinate debuff. That's every Earth attack. That's magic, physical attacks. Her alt, I do believe it's almost like a research in this. It's about a 3% chance for any of her hits to apply Exsanguinate, which is amazing. So she can apply this way, way, way easier than melee, and being, a unit that is essentially can be an enabler in applying Exsanguinate, as well as giving, dropping their enemy resistance by 20 at the start of battle and all this kind of stuff. She's a very good counterpart to her. That is one fail-safe of applying Exsanguinate. I do think the application of Exsanguinate for melee is not that amazing. There is one way to fix that, but it does cost money, unfortunately. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But I felt like that should be mentioned, other ways to apply it. Why don't we talk about her traits? Divine Forfex, when 2 swords are equipped with physical attack damage plus 50%, critical attack, or critical damage plus 25%, damage cap plus 5,000. This means she is locked to 2 swords. This is not that important that she uses Trishula, in my honest opinion. Being locked to 2 swords is completely fine. We have multiple ways, many ways, of dropping resistance of enemies using the attribute circles, the applicable attribute circles. You can use things like weak, giga weak. Many units have debuffs in their innate debuffs that can help her along in this. Like if an enemy has 100 or even 80, 75 res, you have the ability to drop that. You really do.
And
now, that caveat of that, isn't Holy Circle only on UR? Unfortunately,
it is. It's on Kagutsuchi, I think.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a stretch.
You would need Dark Circle or Shadow Circle.
Shadow Circle, which is on a
Loug Zeus.
Dude,
I
literally
it's on
my
Ark?
head.
Yeah, it's on
it's on
2 arcs.
Yeah, Dimensional Rift. I think it's on, right?
That sounds right.
I literally from my
nice.
head there, I was thinking she was dark because look at her purple.
Everyone.
She throws me off so hard.
Everyone is thrown off for sure.
Yeah, that was my fault for saying that. But yeah, Shadow Circle. Shadow Circle is what she needs because she is a light attacker,
accessible.
even though literally everything is purple.
Yeah, I know.
For
Silly.
whatever reason.
I was going to mention something. With the Trishula debate, basically she has so many mods. As long as and mods are physical damage multipliers. As long as you're putting ailments on people, she's busting through any light resistance.
Yep.
At the same time. So, I mean, we can get more into that maybe later, but
I've been using her with Eliza, and her anima is amazing.
Oh,
amazing! Just a flat minus 20. It's great. You know what's funny as hell? Because and I was in the Discord community when she came out, and dude, I used her at 0 SC for a majority of my time playing her so far, because I just didn't bother building her because she didn't need it.
That's hilarious.
And I mean, I threw on a pretty ridiculous kit on her, honestly, at this moment. But yeah, dude, I was just taking on bosses doing APV content at 0 SC because I was, leaning into the ailments. Of course, sometimes I had some supports on her, just to give her that extra boost. But dude, she slaps, especially if you can apply their, multiple ailments. Yeah. But the second part of this trait up here, trait 1. The final attacks of both skill 3 and special greatly cut enemy defense, boost damage cap plus 100,000, and deal damage. Now, I don't know the defense cut. This is essentially a piercing of the defense. It's probably the entire defense bar, to be honest. It's probably a 100% defense cut.
Are you serious?
It's at least 50. Dude, there's no reason for them to not just give a massive pierce cut. Have you seen the multipliers on her? It is so easy for her to cap that last hit. It's ridiculous. I'm under suspicion that it's 100%, but even if it isn't, her modifiers on that last hit on her S3, at least, I haven't tested really her special modifiers, but her S3 will cap. If you're capping the S3 itself, she will cap that final hit. That's not just like, oh, I'm going to have trouble hitting that multiplier because the damage cap is so high. No. Adis has the ability to basically yeet up the entire multipliers on different variable hits of skills. So you will hit that 104, 130, 140k, 150k if you are capping already. So
It's a fun number
pretty
to
cool.
see.
And you know what? It's not that crazy. If they literally could have just added a few more hits to the skill and just, we did away with this part. But I do think it's pretty funny just seeing like 140, 150k hits just out of the blue.
I'm not mad at those one-hit blasts.
No.
That's what
No.
made Aaron so cool.
And here's the thing. In places where damage modifiers truly matter, PvP, her S3 is going to hit harder than most things.
Yeah.
Because of that
Yeet.
last hit. Yeet. It's almost like an instant delete button, which is crazy. I mean, I haven't used her there yet, so like take it with a grain of salt. But as we've seen with Aaron and things that have this kind of modifier boost, it works really, really well. Her S2, Sadistic Urges, duration of status ailments given by unit plus 50%. Wow, this is amazing. I do think it's interesting because sometimes for her kit with Paranoia, and like we'll get into Paranoia and why it's important, but you kind of want them to be able to be reapplied. Unfortunately. So it is amazing for inhibiting the enemy completely, because a lot of bosses do have that, like, rapid recovery or super fast ailment recovery. So it's useful, sure. But I do think the synergy between this and Paranoia is not as great as I wanted it to be. Still amazing. It's just, nothing crazy.
Fair enough.
I would have rather
Damage-
had something else.
Fair.
Just remove that top line entirely. I'd be happy.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. Damage from physical attacks and specials to enemies with exsanguinate plus 20%, damage cut plus 4,000. Now, while this is linked only to exsanguinate, it is not that heavy of a boost. Let's be honest. Exsanguinate getting a plus 20% damage boost to physical attacks and specials and plus 4,000 cap. It's almost like a exsanguinate mega drive or something shit like that. I don't know, man. Yes, I want to apply her S3, but this is kind of just like one of those situations where it's like, you know what? If I have exsanguinate on the enemy, it's going to be just a bonus to damage, right? Because
Exactly.
most of your gameplay is probably not going to have exsanguinate, but once you find that boss that you proc an S3 on, proc the exsanguinate, and you just get filthy freaking damage. Because exsanguinate does lean into a lot of our kit, unfortunately. But next, boost physical attack and special damage based on number of stats ailments on enemy for each. Damage plus 12%, damage cut plus 2,000, so max 60 and max 10,000. This means that 5 ailments on an enemy, you're going to have that capped out at 60% damage boost and 10,000 damage cap. Which is conditional, yes, and it's not. You're just going to have 10,000 damage cap for her. But we're going to want to lean into her ailments anyways. Now, one of the biggest fails, that I should mention in her kit is when things cannot be applied ailments to. That is a huge downside to what she brings to the table, right? If you have an enemy that is plus 3 to every single ailment, which we do have those sometimes in Tower, and I don't necessarily consider Tower that hard of content anymore, especially with units like this, she may not be able to apply any ailments, which is just like, you know what? Okay. That means you just use a different unit if she's not doing the DPS that you want her to. Because if they're both super light resistance and plus 3 to all ailments, maybe she's not the right unit for that content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. She doesn't need to be useful in every single content, but for most content, because she has an annul mouth that can drop res instantly, like, she's going to be useful in almost everything, which is great.
And she's going to be super fun when she is useful.
Oh man, she's very fun. Yeah. Damus, anything to add here before we move on to the actual passives?
No, not really.
Okay, cool. Deal. Let's get into her passives, because she has some pretty insane multipliers. Also, can we just talk about this real quick? The fact that we now have a filter
Oh, okay.
to
Explain this
show
to
that
me.
we have. So it's like, look, ready. So I have a bunch of crap in here that I'm scrolling for.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
You can go to filter right here and do set only.
Set only.
Set only,
Yeah.
bang. It shows only the stuff you have equipped.
Oh.
So you know how I sent you that screenshot earlier about like all other stuff? This is what I did.
Oh.
I put this
my
on, and then this is so
It's
good for
so-
unit builds. It's amazing. Super good quality of life for me especially. And I know for other people out there who just want to check off like what they have in their kit and be like, oh, I want to remove this, bang, 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 just like move this and then move on. You can do that, which is cool. You can also do that with passive skills and you just add it all, and now you see everything in her kit, like Silver Shear and Anima that I have on her. So
I can't wait to make unit builds.
right, it's super high quality because we used to jump into like a three-party battle and have the right skill setup that we want to see like all the things on one page, but now that's actually removed.
Yep.
We can't do that anymore.
Yep.
But this is nice. Super cool.
Could always just hit browse skill sets. That's always been an option.
Yeah, it's always been an option, but then it's just
It's
like
this.
it's just so
you
many
have to take
screenshots.
so
I'm
many
just like, ugh.
screenshots. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
I'd rather way
beautiful.
have this is listed.
This is
right.
beautiful. I didn't understand it the way it was worded, but so thank
You know
you
what?
for explaining.
While we're
that.
here, I'm gonna just talk about what we have in our kit. Because we have some pretty nasty things in our kit that I have. I'm actually gonna put on reset.
Yeah,
Giga Shaker.
she has some
DJing.
crazy saves.
Crazy saves. So let's talk about our anima first, because I think this is pretty cool. Just a flat 10% physical damage boost to all enemies. As an anima. I'm loving that. Of course, there's other animas that drop everyone's defense, that drop everyone's res. Like Ankylosing drops fire and light. Yeah, definitely. I think those are definitely more useful. I don't hate this at all. This is just useful in general.
One thing I want to note on that really quick is
Yeah.
it's the enemy is taking 10% more damage, not you are doing 10% more damage.
Right.
There's the distinguished.
Wording.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's different. Okay, this is actually gonna generally be a little bit more damage than if you were just doing outright raw 10% more.
Right, because it doesn't stack like that. It's literally just it's a debuff on the enemy. To them just multiply every damage they take for physicals times an extra 10%. So yeah, pretty cool. Giga Shaker I don't really see much use for outside of arena, and I don't think I'll ever use this in arena, honestly. Just dropping an enemy's critical rate. Maybe if I have like time and I'm just sitting in a corner and watching the enemies laughing at them, ha ha ha, here's a critical rate debuff. No, I don't.
I think
I
if
really
we,
don't think it's that useful.
if we didn't
So
ever
far.
use it with Shift Lilibet, it's never gonna get used.
I've never
I've
been
never
in
once-
this game
Yep.
and had a scenario where I was like,
I'm gonna
the
Lord
enemy
crit.
really much. I need to reduce that. Like that's never been something that crossed my
Yep.
mind.
Never one time. But maybe I'm just bad and I should use it, but I don't
I
think
think
so.
we just suck, honestly.
Anula Mouth, she gets this innate, right? This is a 10 SC that's super expensive normally, but she gets this straight up. Being an ailment user, love that. I love that they just gave this to her because this is one of the fastest spells in the game and it's time stop. Like super instant. It's almost, I think it's on God Heal territory of how fast it is.
It's super
You can do
fast.
this in the 0.01 seconds of the map. Proc this and it'll instantly cast it, no matter how much cast speed you have. So that's super high value for ailment users. Just starting on a map, dropping the entire enemy res by 1. And if people don't realize, dropping enemy res from neutral to -1 basically doubles your proc chance for ailments.
I've never known the actual correlation.
Let's say neutral is like 3%, like resist. Neutral is 3%, let's call it. When you get to resist +1, it basically halves it. So like, let's say 1.5%. This is around the normal area, so 1.5%. But if you go weak, then it multiplies it by 6% at -1, or like 12% at -2.
Yeah.
It's
A
maybe
lot.
not exact, but that's how you should view it. It's
Okay.
a huge boost to the actual procs of ailments.
Got it.
So, and even then, if the enemies are +2 nil, dropping it to resistance is going to give you the chance to apply any of the ailments. So, very nice that they have that on her. I mean, we have this as a support skill on the Blood Arc. You can teach it to any of your supports to do it for her. But this is just nice to have innate, just like a full complete-ish kit to help her out. If she was missing this, that'd be annoying. Super annoying.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they just gave it to her innate. So,
Uh-huh.
super cool. Fighting Spirit 4, Critical Up 3, sure. Advanced Aim Vitals, sure. I do wish she was innately given Proud Force because her kit is so nice. But Proud Force is pretty easily to obtain. I mean, we have that on an Ark, as well as a couple SSRs at this point. So
I would have happily swapped out aim vitals for Proud Force.
Me too.
A heartbeat.
Me too. But I don't hate that she actually has aim vitals for people who are relatively new.
Brand new,
This is
yeah.
a nice little power boost. And she does have some crit in her kit, so that's not bad. Crit in her kit. Getting Human Slayer innate. Yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
Always nice to see.
It's just it's just nice even if you didn't have Human Slayer, it's nice to have a conglomerate Slayer in people's kits, which we haven't seen with a couple units now. I mean, just the most recent units, we just haven't seen Slayers. I love the fact that she gets, and this is one of the most, one of the best PvP Slayers in the entire game. Having Slayers against Soldier, Knight, Sniper, and Sorcerer, very, very useful in a lot of content. Maybe not so much PvE, but PvP for sure. Just give us that extra boost, that's all. She does have innate Curse, Stun, and Ecology Research. Curse, obviously, it's a 3% chance on every regular attack. Hit to snag Curse on an enemy. That's it. That's a neutral res. Stun also being 3%. Ecology Research. This is a 3% proc chance. The same as the other researches, but it is a 1 out of 6. One that procs, it's a 1 out of 6 for each of the elements, right? So it can only proc one element at a time, so it goes through this little RNG process of that. When it procs, it'll pick between one of the 6 elements to apply. So it's not like you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to apply Stun and Illness and Blind all with Ecology Research. No, it's like, it's very random. It's just a nice addition. So this makes it her so she has the ability to apply every single one. While it may not be very common for all of them, she has the ability to do so without having the researches for it. So that's kind of nice. Auto Protection, Auto Haste, just very good to have on her Auto Haste for sure. Light Drive, Light Mega Drive, Light Attack Raise 3. Okay. Plus 10%. Plus 30% 2000 cap. Plus 30% 2000 cap. Light Critical Raise, I'm not really that concerned about, but this just does add improved to her crit damage if you need that. And another 5% crit rate for, Proud Force if you throw it on her. Pretty nice. Goddess Kiss. Great to have an 8. Let's get some MP back. Hell yeah. Obviously, it's for proportional to her damage, right? 2% of the damage dealt on regular attacks has a 10% chance to give that MP back. So if she's hitting for 20k, she gets a chance to proc Goddess Kiss for like a 400 MP hit. Like it's going maybe not going to be that high if you're using her as you're starting out, sure, but she has a chance to regain MP, and as physical attackers, this is the best way to get it back. Considering she has a Nulla Mouth. And if I don't think you'll be spamming that very often, but this just helps with her Sharp Eyes, with Dusk if you feel like it, with Anul the Mouth itself. It's just amazing to have an 8. So we talked about DPS boost, Light Drive, Mega Drive, Attack Raise 3. She also gets Terra Mouth 1 and 2 for free. This is another flat out 50% damage to all damage. All damage. This does not specify physical. This does not specify magical. It is all damage. So it can hit physical, magical, and special. All boosted damage for free as long as they have an ailment. Nutty.
Pretty sure it procs on Arc skills as well.
It
Have to
does.
fact check
It is.
that,
It
but
is
I'm pretty sure
absolutely
that-
all damage, and I have 100%. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
100%. Dual wield for free. No shit.
Love it.
She's holding 2 swords, as you expect from a unit to be dual wield, not units like Shift Maylym who don't have 2 swords.
Oh my gosh.
Sword high boost and sword mega boost. These are just flat out again multipliers, right? 30%, 30% plus 2,000 cap. Like what the? Sharp Eyes for free. I'm sorry. Again, rapid recovery. Now, okay, rapid recovery, great, but the biggest part of ailment users in their kit and why they're so ridiculous.
Preach.
Paranoia. Okay. When giving a new status ailment to an enemy, recover a little SCT. This is 5 SCT for every new ailment proc. Now, we should clarify that. What a new status ailment proc means is that the enemy has not had that debuff or that ailment before. What it does not mean is a reapplication of that debuff. So if an enemy has no ailments, you proc curse, you'll get 5 SCT. But if an enemy still has that curse ailment up, and you proc the curse again to renew the debuff, basically the ailment time frame, you're not going to get the 5 SCT. So this is why we say on her trait, that plus 50% time frame of ailments to last longer, it's not very synergistic with this. I mean, you're not really probably going to notice it that much, but her initial burst of ailments that you're applying on enemies is going to have a huge effect to her SCT regen. And as long as you keep applying those, she may not get SCT. But you know, if a couple fall off during the battle, like we said, bosses have extremely high regen rates for, you know, recovering from ailments. Great, reapply it. That's another 5 SCT. Hell yeah. It's pretty amazing. This for ailment users is one of the top tier SCT regenerational things in the entire game, for sure, without a doubt. So I'm very excited she has this. I'm very excited for her, you know, potential to apply all the elements. She has with ecology research, with curse and stun research, with the ability to proc them on her skills and alts. Nice. Very, very nice. Anything to add there, boys? Because Paranoia's broke. In a good way.
I mean, in a good way. Do we want to get into why it's kind of important?
I see that in chat, and I think it's a very important point to bring up. Okay?
Yes.
Paranoia, it only works on giving enemies, again, like we said, that new ailment. Okay? The new ailment proc. What this kind of conflicts with using other ailment users is that if that's already on, she's not going to get that SCT boost. So while you might want to run her with with Logia, who are very, you know, innately other ailment users, if they're fighting to give paranoia procs and you give ailments themselves, she's might not be as effective as you would want. Now, of course, you might be better at applying ailments, you know, for the whole party if you're having multiple ailment users. But if you're going to be using them, I strongly suggest like things like V or Logia to only like give her the ability to apply them all, but give them a very focused like ailment proc, right? And I was explaining to you guys before, if I was to use V with her, because they do synergize pretty well, him with his like instant battle start Anula Mouth, essentially. I would lean heavily into his like stun research. Stun only, give him Cactus Hammer, leave stun research only, take everything else off. Because stun is one of the most broken ailments in the entire game. Give him that, and then let her just run rampant with anything else. Because she's going to be the DPS. She's going to be wanting that SCT back on her skills to do that high damage. So yeah, I think that's definitely one thing. For units that have paranoia, they will be conflicting if you run multiple at the same time. It's just one little downside caveat. That's all. And it's something that you can absolutely avoid. Absolutely avoid. So, nice. Thank you for bringing that up and saying that we should talk about that, because that is very important for her. Goddess Advocate. You were very excited about Deimos. Tell me why.
Why would I be excited about the possibility of insta-kill on a physical DPS?
Physical and specials? Like, I'm sorry.
Why would that be exciting?
Now, of course, this does exclude bosses in arena. But yeah, she has a very small chance. I believe I was told it's 0.25% chance per hit on physical hits to proc instant death. And 0.8% on special. I believe that's what Lake told me. So,
yes.
Yeah.
0.25, 0.8.
Yep. So, again, it's not going to be that common, but there's the chances there. And for places like Tower, where you don't have specials, where you're going to kind of be annoyed at, you know, the magic-only stages, and maybe you only brought her as your DPS and not a mage, she can still get through that, because she can instant kill. Now, it's not going to be, you can't hit the bosses with it, but for any of the ads, for the previous waves, it'll kill, which is cool. Now, here's where we get into the parts of where Exsanguinate is very important. This is kind of like an Exsanguinate heavy part of our kit, because Gash, skill attacks on the enemies with Exsanguinate have a chance to give illness. Now, real quick, I'm going to bring up what Lake told me, because I don't think this is on the Goldmine just yet. So let me scroll a little bit.
How interesting.
All right. Gash. Okay, Gash. This is if an enemy has exsanguinate skill attacks, so any skill attacks have a 2% chance of applying illness. That's a lot of hits if they have exsanguinate right away to apply illness. 2% is huge, especially when you can pump out 30 hits in like a second.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely large. So cool that she gets it. That's very, very useful. And again, this needs exsanguinate. And she only has it on her S3 by chance and her S4 guaranteed yes, but it's single target and you're leaning into her ult. No, I don't love that. So S3 is going to be your way to go for non-paid users. Bloody Makeover. Again, skill attacks on enemies with exsanguinate have a chance to absorb 5% of damage as HP. This is a 10% chance to absorb 5% damage of HP. Again, hitting, let's say 20k. Let's downdraw it. 20k. That's 1,000 damage.
1,000 HP.
Or 1,000 HP that you get back. Or
and that's her
10%
floor.
chance.
That's her floor,
That's
20k.
Floor. Right.
Yeah.
You're hitting for 40k. That's 2,000.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know, guys, anyone who's used Shift Reamer before to get HP back, this ain't that good, but it's damn good. For sure. And again, this needs exsanguinate. So basically, whenever you get exsanguinate on a unit, on an enemy, this unlocks a whole new aspect of her kit. Fatal Flash. When a physically attacking you such using special on enemies with exsanguinate, cut damage or cut enemy defense minus 15% and deal damage. This essentially just gives you a constant defense piercing for enemies that have exsanguinate. Great, increasing their damage even more. Awesome. Dazzling Wings. That concludes the exsanguinate portion, by the way. Dazzling Wings is kind of sweet. Okay, so here's how this works. Chance to nullify physical attack damage taken. This is going to be a 15% chance for 0 damage. If damage is nullified, a chance to give enemy blind. If damage is nullified, this is a 20% chance to inflict blind. Okay, so let's math that out. A 15% chance for 0 damage. 20% of that, 20% of those times, it's gonna proc. That's a 3% defensive blind research, pretty much. Whenever she gets hit, she essentially has, by physical attacks, a 3% chance to proc blind on the enemy that's hitting her. That's ridiculous. Not only that, if you want to increase the chances to nullify physical attack damage taken, which we've been getting accessories lately in events and AERs lately that have this available. You can increase that by a good bit. So whenever an enemy is getting a long combo attack on you, they're probably going to be blind by the end of it. As long as they don't have, like, you know, a plus two resist to it. Because that still does affect their resist. Kind of nasty.
That is neat. I didn't think about
again,
external accessories.
Right. This is great for bosses, blinding them without even having to try. I mean, she has incredible blind procs in her kit already, but this will help you there. And being in PvP, getting attacked has a chance to give them blind. Because most offensive teams really don't concentrate on nullifying their own ailments. Because you're there to burst. You really are. But this makes them probably rethink that a little bit. Now, I don't know how... She doesn't seem very bulky, so she's probably going to get friggin' nuked anyways. And being a god, a lot of people do run God Slayer because of people, like units like Loug Zeus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's probably not going to be that bulky in arena on defense. But this will annoy the shit out of some people. I can guarantee you. People are like, I'm not getting attacked. Why am I blind? This is why. So, definitely very cool to have in her kit. But with all of these damage multipliers, what can you put in her kit? Literally anything you want.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, in my opinion. One, Proud Force, of course. You know, we love sustain on units. Researches. If you're going to be leaning heavily into researches and, you know, something that is useful for her paid as well, which we'll get into in a second, lean into them. The more the merrier. And now we're going to look at, let's do my set. Right? What did I put on her? Special boost, of course. Get more damage on against humans for sure. Poison research, blind research, silence research, monkey baby, and illness research. This is a lot of SC, but it doesn't matter. Because she's getting... If you proc any of these on the enemy, each of them count up to 5. An extra 12% damage and 2,000 damage cap. So why would you not lean into it, right? Of course, you could save some SC if you're taking it off and, like, an enemy's +3 because you can't actually annul and melt them down to, like, you know, achievable range of applying the ailment. But dude, this is what 18, 20, 18, 26, 36 SC for ailments that she has outside of her kit. Now,
Fancy.
people might not have Monkey Baby, and I think you asked me earlier, Panda, about like making sure, like confirming that these are independent. These are independent chances. So Silence Research is a 3% chance to inflict silence on regular attacks. Monkey Baby is also a 3% chance. So they're independent.
Yeah, they're independent, which in effect is stackable, but it's not like it doubles the percentage. I don't know how the actual percentage.
Right, it's not a full
worked.
6% chance.
Right.
It's multiplicative.
Yes.
Independent chance. So like,
Okay.
just don't really worry about that. It's just, you know, you can essentially say like, oh, I'm doubling the chances for it. Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
The math doesn't work out like that, but it's a
That's-
great addition to add more and more.
Yeah, it's
and
not
she doesn't
a
get-
waste of SC.
Besides ecology research, she doesn't get a chance to apply poison or silence to the enemy at all.
Right.
Illness, yes, for exsanguinate units, sure. But poison and silence at all, except for ecology. So adding those two, especially to her kit, are very important. So yeah, I added 36 SC to her kit with free researches, and I'm loving it.
It's
Fast
not even
speed,
something you
sure.
would think about.
No, and she has so
Add it and be good.
like we said, she has so many multipliers. You can afford that. Absolutely, having 90 SC, you can afford that. Fast speed, pride, of course, those are pretty substantial. Pose of glory, pose of honor, sure. Sky high, sure. Terramel 3. I'm smiling right now. Terramel 3. An extra boostable to all damage with enemies and status ailments plus 30%. Of course, this is only on the new UR, but this is sick.
It is.
This is really, really good for her. And especially for people like Logia who have low-ish caps. You're welcome, Logia. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys get the UR, it is a very good UR, and we'll talk about just to preface a little bit. Very good UR, especially for her, especially for a lot of units. Damn good. Everyone, from what I've seen in the community, everyone's very excited about it. So that's good that people are understanding that it's very good. Sword boost adding, sure. Skill charge 1, 2, and 3. Sharp eyes, combat. This is like generic physical DPS stuff. Leaning heavily into our paranoia procs. Like I should mention before, having more researches gives you more SCT through paranoia. You want to apply the most ailments you possibly can. Yes, it's regular attacking, but if you take a second to do like maybe 2 regular attacks, and you get proc like, you know, you have 3 enemies and you proc a bunch of ailments, that's all SCT into her kit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, super useful. High speed shopkeep, cool. Her kit's pretty nasty. Passives, unreal. Lean into her ailments. She has a Nulamelth innate. Like, I'm sorry. Fantastic. But let's talk about one of the most controversial things about her. Because unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me, I'm able to use them. But I know people will not spend on her. And that's fine. She's a fantastic unit without it. But these kind of make her ridiculous. Now, what I've said in chat before, and I know you guys would probably agree to this, there's 2 paids that in the past that have just, you know, clear and away been above every single other paid in the game. One being Balin's sword, Lafine, that was just utterly busted when it came out, and still generally is. And even though he's not like the unit he used to be in the meta, you know, being in the meta. Just
I
generally.
would still go so far as saying it's the best weapon in the game.
Yeah, no, I listen. It doesn't take away from his weapon at all.
It's nuts.
For him especially, but this is just like, you know, a tier of disgusting. What the best are. That up is way up there, way up there. The second one that we've seen, that I think you guys will probably agree with, is 2B's paid. Changing the dynamic and adding the massive boost that it does to her potential. 2B's paid weapon for sure.
Yeah.
These join those ranks, especially the Dexter one, I believe. But these both are incredible. Why? Number 1, Sinister and Dexter. They enable both silence and poison, 2 ailments that she was missing innately from her kit, to be applied on any physical attack. Now, I have the numbers here from like the poison chance on any physical attack for her Dexter is going to be 2% per physical hit. That's disgusting.
Hit or
hit.
stock? Oh my god.
Per hit. Per hit. 100% per hit. Poison, though, on Sinister silence on the Sinister is a 1.5% chance. They literally just, on every hit, you know how disgusting that is on every single hit to use?
Yeah.
Not only that, Dexter itself gives cap, sure, but it gives the chance of regular attacks to give Exsanguinate. This is a 3% chance to proc Exsanguinate like a research, which cannot be resisted by any enemies.
Because it's not
Like
an
we
ailment.
talked about ailment resistance before. You can have a situation where like maybe you're not applying it as often. That doesn't happen with Exsanguinate because it's a debuff and not an ailment. She always has a 3% chance on her regular attacks to hit with Exsanguinate. And Exsanguinate, like we talked about before, enables a ton in her kit.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it feels bad because putting this stuff on her paid weapons is sus as hell. Because it seriously unlocks so much in her kit that is just absurd. Because those two, you don't even have to regular attack at all, generally, right? Now that you have silence and poison can be applied on any physical hit, all of her skills can apply ailments by themselves innately. Maybe not every hit, but they can. Unlocking that cap boost, unlocking that damage boost, unlocking those modifiers, because she has them on every physical hit is just disgusting.
It does hurt.
And free-to-play players, you're not going to be able to get this. And that's unfortunate. But these have now ascended to a tier above everything else in the game versus, like, paid-wise. Like, in most scenarios, we're like, oh, paids aren't that crazy, just use a God Forge instead. Well, no. If you have these, you're never taking them off.
Nope.
That's just like the blade. These are like set and forget. I'm never going to take these off. Literally.
Yep.
There's no point. Unless an enemy is 100% immune to silence, that's the only reason I take off Darkshear. That's it, or the Sinister one. I'm always going to leave Dexter on because it's Exsanguinate. Auto Exsanguinate. Like, yeah.
Even
So-
then, I wouldn't take off Sinister.
I listen, that's a rare point of I'd ever take it off because it also gives a free Terramouth on it, like in crit 5 crit
Yeah.
rate. Like, I'm sorry. If you get these both, you're never gonna take enough. If you're getting one though, I know plenty of people don't love shelling on a ton of money, right? They're asking, which one should I take? Dexter, 100%.
Absolutely.
This unlocks
All
so much in her kit.
day long.
100% her
thing.
kit. Not only that, poison itself. This is a fantastic ailment to have on her because poison is. People probably don't realize this, but poison itself is one of the least resisted ailments in the entire game. It doesn't add much to your. We've always known poison to like not do much damage to enemies. It's not a very good damage over time effect. It's like capped out at 9,999 damage, but it's like every 6 seconds, and enemies have millions upon millions of health. It literally does nothing when you're in elite content or endgame content. But what it does do, because it's not very resistant on most enemies, it allows you to enable all of your Terramouths. Even if everything else is resistant, throw a poison on. Okay, all my Terramouths enabled. I get cap boost, damage boost. Whew, see you later, enemy. Definitely Dark Dexter though. This is, and it was funny though. People kept asking me like, which one should I pick? I'm like, I don't know the names of them. But now that I do, Dexter 100%.
Yeah.
Sinister, if you're going to want to enable her fully, this is fantastic. But if you had to only pick one, bang, Dexter. But yeah, that's her stuff, man. She has an absolutely nasty kit. Nasty kit, especially nasty paids. I'm not going to be testing her without the paids because I'm loving her.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Who attacked me? Man, people losing, unfortunately, because I'm at 151 trophies. Let's take her into her kit, or into let's
Take her
test
into
her
battle.
research. So I have all of her research on her, right? So let's go see what she can do, because it's pretty disgusting. I'm going to put on Ark that means she can't get flinched. So Adon Coliseum, level 10, 30 seconds of flinch resistance. Sure, doesn't really matter. I just want to see what she can do with her ailment procs. These enemies are
I'm
generally
excited.
like, yeah, it's pretty nasty.
'Cause I haven't seen any footage of her.
So I think I have skill stocks or skill charges on her. So keep that in mind. Just watch her SCT real quick. Watch her SCT. So basically, it starts off with like one stock of S2, and basically like 2/3 of a stock of S1 or S3.
Oh, you should have put a man-made on.
I can, like, that's not an issue. I just wouldn't like run that always. But she has stupid procs anyways. So let's look at this. Res to blind and curse. Res to blind and curse. Res to blind and curse with poison. Okay. Well, I lied. It's resisted. Rip. Let's go group them up. Oh no, no auto, please. No anima. All right, cool. Hi guys. Let's go attack the boss. Let's see the illness.
Running
And he's
away.
already silenced and illness. One regular
Wow.
attack. Silence and illness.
And
Rip.
4 stocks, 1 stock.
You know what? Why don't we just use a Nullmouth? Because that's instant. And now they have literally are going to be
Nothing.
terrible.
Nothing.
It's like
Just give it to him, bro.
blind. You're blind. You're blind.
Blind.
Everyone's blind. Everyone's got STDs.
Oh.
Exsanguinate. Like, look at this. Like, look at her SCT right now.
Yeah. She's
All right, I'm gonna go over here. They're going to try to kill me, but that's okay. This S1 has pushback.
Mm.
Like, just so what I want to get at real quick is not only the importance of boosting your own damage, but inhibiting enemies, right? Just absolutely nuking enemies' efforts in trying to kill you. Ailments do that. Ailments and debuffs do that. Yeah, that was not a great time, but like, dude, absolutely.
No, but you
nasty.
spent a lot of time running around.
Right,
And
right.
that's her solo. She's got no enablers with her.
She got no enablers. 30k caps with a bunch of different stuff. I mean, like, dude, it's like her caps can go up to, if you max enable, up to like 57,000 if you have every element on them and exsanguinate
Yeah.
and
Do you
all the
think
enablers.
you can pull that
Nasty.
off in stream?
I could probably pull that off. I just don't think it's like worth trying a bunch of times.
It's
Because,
not
like,
something that you should be relying on ever.
No.
Right.
But if you just want to bring it, and that's the thing, like I could bring in like an Xbet and like a 10 and give her 6k extra cap innately, and just have some fun with it and not force myself to use a bunch of other stuff because she's getting a ton of damage procs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's go through one more time, and I'll show her skill animations. Like I talked about before, her S1 is a pushback, ranged pushback, which is nasty.
That is a nasty skill. I've come
We're
to
gonna use
appreciate that so much.
Vanilla Mouth. I'm gonna run up here. Oh, they're all grouping up. Wow, very nice of them. And everyone's
Nice,
STDs.
okay.
Let's do 2 regular attacks. You're stunned, poisoned, and silenced. You are silenced, poisoned, and illness. And you are... Bye. Okay. So let's do S2. S2 is pretty quick. I love...
Oh, that's
dude.
nice. That reminds me
pretty
of
quick.
Shift Alice.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. Let's use her S3s.
Mm.
Oh. One thing I want to mention. Before her last hit, her S3 groups.
Does it now?
Yes. No, why don't we go check that real quick? Because it is...
What a funny contrast.
Oh man. She actually has grouping ability, yes. It reminds me of,
Crazy,
like,
right?
you remember like Shift Lilibet's S2 where like, hits a little area then like sucks them in a little bit?
Yep.
It's kind of like that.
Does it? Because what's cool about Esbet's S2 is that it sucks in enemies that typically don't move.
I haven't tested her yet, but she might be able to. She might be.
Either way, not a huge deal, but
No, not a deal breaker at all.
What I found really interesting was like in the teaser video, I was like, oh, her S3 looks nutty, her S2 looks okay, and her S1 or her S2 looks good, and her S1 looked okay.
Yeah,
But then like using her,
and then they are on top of each other. Look at these two. It's so cute. They're hanging out. Exsanguinate. Exsanguinate, like, dude. On.
oh, now it's it. Yep, 36. Yep, just I like.
It scales with ailments, and it's
I
great.
like it. I like it because even with 2 or 3 of them, it's a
You
nasty
still get a
cat,
huge boost.
and it just scales upward the more you inflict.
I mean, I do have Terramouth
just
2
cool.
on, or Terramouth 3 on, so I take 2k off that if
Take
you want to have
2k
UR.
off.
But
28k.
with that said, why don't we talk about the UR?
You want to jump into the UR?
Yeah,
Shoot.
that thing is nasty.
I do want to
I
hear
just
you
talked
talk
a
about the
complete
UR.
hour about friggin' Melee, so we might as
It's
well go
been
to
an
UR.
hour. I've been running tower.
You're running tower?
I'm running tower while y'all
Nice.
are doing your thing.
All right, so the newest UR, Maylymare.
I actually do have
Maylymare.
this.
You got it.
Maylymare.
Yeah, and nasty. It's nasty stuff up. And we don't need to talk about that because I hate you, but still. My summons went alright. This took me a lot longer than I wanted it to, but it wasn't too bad. Panda took you a month.
A month.
I got shafted so hard.
Yeah, you did. Buddha got the goods, and unfortunately, you know,
One good.
for the con. You got the goods. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got away with a steal.
Maylymare. This is the newest UR to the game. Has an arc skill and all that good stuff. But let's talk about the stats. 4 or 5 strength. Nasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I really care about in that, honestly. Passives, though, extremely strong. We have running a party and running like, you know, flinch resistant, running like flinch resistant stuff like Mtheria's Barrier, even like Adana Coliseum, stuff like that. This is a really strong damage passive. It is not that hard to get 100 hits in a combo, honestly. And getting that 40% boost at 100 hits or more, super high value, in my opinion. This is one of the better physical damage DPS arcs in the game, without a doubt, because of that. Maybe not for PvP, because I don't think combos, you're really going to combo that much, but for PvE especially, absolutely. Super nice. When an ally other than unit is incapacitated, give a damage taken plus 30% debuff to a random enemy once per wave. That's funny, because we have ways to instantly incapacitate our friends. We have ways to do that with Cursed Ring and the Mistletoe. Just nuking an enemy, rezzing them immediately, and causing the, it says random enemy, but guess what? If there's only one enemy, aka a boss, it's gonna pick them for a 30% proc debuff for, damage taken. And this is the same debuff as what you're seeing with, like, again, debuff, that 30%, or like the Ghost Hime cloth that if an enemy dies with that cloth on, they're killed by an enemy, that they get that plus 30% damage taken debuff. That's the same debuff. So that's kind of cool. Just having this arc on a unit and then having another unit die immediately, you can just essentially get a 30% damage debuff against the enemy, which is sweet. Notably, that is all damage, not just physical, all damage. These are all damage, which is hilarious. The first one being boost damage as hit count increases. That's if your hit count's over 100, you're getting plus 40% damage to physical, magical, special. That's huge. Not only that, the last part, the biggest part of it, damage cut plus 4,000 to enemies with a status ailment. This is it's conditional for enemies with a status ailment, but that is all damage, and it is 4K cap.
Mm-hmm. Highest cap we have on an arc, yeah.
Highest cap we've had yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Pretty nasty. Its passives its trade passes are just disgusting, and especially synergize super well with status ailments. But learnables, pretty cool. Again, anything we've seen before, I'm really not going to comment on. But Doggy Dog,
love it.
I do like it, but dude, it's just like, it's not even as good as a weapon boost.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That
I use a
is
weapon boost
true.
before I use that.
I think it's a luxury.
Again, that's where you're getting at. It's a luxury, right? 5SC, if you wanted to put on, and it's only skill damage, and it's only against non-boss enemies.
This is true.
So, where's that going to be useful? Sure, arena, but like at that point, if I'm looking at all physical attacks for weapon boost being 4SC for 10% damage, But this is an extra additive on top of that, so it's not bad for 5SC. It's just like not ideal.
Yeah, this is just
2 or 3 would have been the sweet spot.
3SC would have been a perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, 3SC would have been accurate, but it's super conditional.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
Just in an arena build, instead of throwing attack ups on with that 5 extra SC that I don't know where to spend it, this is where I'd spend it now. So yeah.
Blood Force we've seen before. This is just not a good skill. Do not use this. It is a 10% chance on regular attacks to absorb 20% of damage, Delta's HP. Never lean into this. Just use Proud Force, honestly.
The unit that's good on is B.
Yeah, you're not wrong. High Drain, single enemy defense minus 35%. This is, I think, the first time we've seen this, right?
On a
Pretty
skill,
sure.
As a teachable thing, yes.
As a learnable arc, yes. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I love having more of these. We've had High Nemesis. Bro, I can't even think what the other ones are, but this is sweet. Being able to teach this to units, and of course it's on a UR, it's not going to be that common, but Nice to see. Teramo 3, the kicker in this whole Garnables process. An extra 30% damage to status ailments. An extra stackable 30% with 2,000 cap. Nice. It does cost 11 SC, so it's a little bit expensive, and that's what makes it a luxury. It's fine. You can apply Teramo 1 and 2 for pretty usable SC, 4 and 6 each. But if you want to add this, it's going to cost you another 11 SC. Maylis herself has more than enough room to add this, and I think for many units, having that extra cap room will, and if you're already capping, you might as well spend for it. But 11 SC is a little bit expensive. This is better than every single other attack raise in the game. Literally. It's 11 SC for 30% damage and 2k cap for all damage as long as they have a status ailment.
I like it.
I'm glad it's not 15, because that's it could have been, honestly.
15 would have been fair.
Would have been
11,
fair.
11, in my opinion, is fair. It is amazing, to be honest. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
I like it a lot.
I do too. As to the AER, Dark Mare Ring, 500 HP, thick, 102 strength, thick, defense plus 66, thick, but I don't really care about it. Damage to enemies with status ailments plus 15%. While this is conditional, it is a damage boost to all damage. Not only that, it adds a physical damage taken minus 10% for free. Pretty sick. Along with 10 light resistance. This is a very good accessory. UR quality, I mean, it doesn't have anything super unique, but it is all damage. So I think that's very, very usable in a lot of units, in my opinion.
If only that plus 15% was plus 1,500 cap.
Why not both?
Why not both? So you are.
Friggin' imagine getting essentially status ailment plus 4,000 cap here, 2,000 cap on Teramo. This arc essentially gives you 6,000 cap, which is crazy for the people with status ailments. But let's talk about the arc skill, one of my favorite parts of it. Why is it cool? It is hitting the entire map. Now, okay, let's talk about this. I have it at level 7 because I'm a simp for utility and arc skills.
This guy.
At level 1, it is guaranteed to give all enemies blind, of course, as long as they're not nil. And it has a small chance to give enemies curse and or illness. As you raise the arc level, it is going to increase that chance of getting curse and illness. But at level 10, it becomes give all enemies blind, curse, and illness. Yep. So yes, most people will not be able to use this level 10, and I'm going to talk about that is extremely effective. Guaranteeing three of those ailments, if they're not nil, for the entire map. If you can't see the boost of that, not only for inhibiting the enemy with being blind and cursed and ill, they can't heal, you're also going to have instant enabling for your entire party with all of the Terramilths and any weapons like Venocleave that they have damage boosts for. I mean, not Venocleave, but for any of the other damage boosters that are applied to ailments, dude, crazy. Even just guaranteeing blind, guaranteeing one ailment on enemies is huge. The fact that it can guarantee all three at level 10 and even any up to 3 at level 1, huge value. I don't really care about the instant kill or dark attack, to be honest. The whole aspect of utility of applying ailments without doing anything but activating my Earth skill is huge. And I will be getting this level 10 as soon as possible because I'm a big fan of that. Big fan. Just like Theo, just like Grey Oro, and this is super enabling. And you know how much I love enablers. So yeah, why don't we just go into a chat into here right now and talk about the effect of using this arc skill combined with paranoia.
You even use Logia to showcase that too, if you really want to.
I absolutely could.
Do it.
You know what? I'm gonna put nothing on him and quit out afterwards, but this would be hilarious.
Just so you could give Buddha a little taste of what he has to bring for him.
You know what? I should put some stuff on him just to have fun with it.
I'm literally customizing him as we speak.
Okay, favorites. Let's go to here. They're all neutral to Earth, so I'm not worried about whatever else he has on him. Let's do Muramasa because Desert Rose. Sure, we'll put on the Hail Sovereign's key. Got some extra cap. Does he have the right Slayers? Does it really matter? No, but I'm gonna put them on. Reset, set only, passive skills. We don't want set only. That's what we want. All right. Soldier Slayer. I have room, so we might as well throw it on there.
Do it.
Okay. Nothing else.
The only thing I don't like about this arc is that the skill itself deals dark damage.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's not. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little weird. But the thing about it
fits.
It makes
it
sense.
does apply the ailments immediately, pretty much before the first hit. So the entire arc skill itself, if you have the Terra Mouse involved, will get that boosted damage, which is cool. It doesn't just apply them at the end. Okay, let's see the SCT regen that little Logia can do.
It does make sense canonically.
What we talked about before. 0 SC. SCT. Great. Oh, that sucks. Oh, no. No, that's terrible. What we're going to do is I should have brought a Nula Melt first, just to almost guarantee his other stuff. But we're going to use Maylymare. Because he has Paranoia, any of the procs that he gets from this arc skill are applied to his Paranoia. So we can get up to 9 procs of ailments, them being blind, curse, and illness on all 3 of them. And every single one that procs gives me 5. So we're going to use this. This is at time 0, applying procs and getting SCT. This is like a mini honey elixir almost, if you have the ability to do so. Oh, honey, I kind of just want to see the animation. It's kind of dope.
It's nice. I mean, it's a dope artwork as usual. Oh, booba.
We applied, I think
1,
it's
2, 3,
5.
4.
5, I think. 3 on that one, 1 here, and 3 here. So yeah,
4.
Not the greatest, but look, 25 SCT, no big deal. And now we go like these.
If you would have
Go
popped
like
a Nula Mouth, it probably would even look better. Good old Logia. Do your thing, boy.
You do your thing. Yep. Pretty solid. I know I have no enablers on him, and he's not gonna have the highest caps, but he's banging. I like it. I like him having. I like that he can get this arc, and I don't have Terramouth 3 on this. I have not even touched his kit from the last time, pretty much. So, still an amazing unit. His S1 has a little suck to it, which you guys saw. If you guys realize when I was using that, his S1 first, just to like group them up in front of him. Yeah.
I'm excited to use them. Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Still need some work.
But notably, that is crazy value. If you have, let's talk about this real quick. Maylymare. For people like Melee, Logia, V, who have Paranoia, okay? If you have this at level 10, and this is, of course, elitist as hell, if you have this at level 10, and you can guarantee these 3 ailments, if you have 5 enemies on the map, and they all get all 3, that's 75 SCT.
No big deal.
Off the rip. If you have 6, of course, mathematically, that would be 90 SCT. For not necessarily an SCT arc, but because of the synergistic interaction with Paranoia on the unit that it's equipped to, disgusting. Not only that, it enables everything else after that. All your skills, boosted damage. All your specials, boosted damage. All your magic,
Just
boosted
imagine
damage.
if instead of Blood Force, it was Paranoia.
Dude, Paranoia, if they ever release that thing's gonna be like 20 SCT. There's no way.
I'm okay with this.
I would still use it. But yeah, pretty nasty arc. I am very much in love with it. This synergy between them both. This is like one of the only times I think you guys would agree. This is like, oh, this unit, what's her arc? They literally just gave her arc on the same banner. Not even a question about it. Not even a question.
It's usually very counterintuitive, and a lot of new players are always like, oh, I didn't get the unit's arc. Are they still that good? And this is one of the only times, like Tweak said, that the actual arc released with the unit is best in slot.
Best in slot.
Usually it's not. Ever. Yeah. Very rarely.
So I was looking at like arcs that you could use with her if you didn't have this. And one that I thought was interesting was Ancient Ruins.
Oh, because of the debuff time?
It's got the debuff time, and I mean,
wait, which arc?
Light Pursuits on Ancient Ruins?
St. Marius.
Oh, St. Marius. Like, I've
yeah.
literally never even said Ancient Ruins, because I always just say St. Marius.
St. Marius.
Rip.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting that extra 1.3 debuff
But-
time.
Would that work on her S3 blind debuff? I'm assuming yes.
I would assume so. I would honestly probably assume it probably works for the ailments too. I don't know if this is going to be, why don't I look up on Goldmine real quick and see if it applies to like, because sometimes their wording is like,
Yeah, it doesn't say.
it says extended time, but it might be pretty much anything you give. Ancient weapon, no ancient ruins.
But then that's also
Yeah,
a
Lake doesn't have-
guaranteed
Lake does-
pursuit on regulars.
Lake doesn't have it confirmed either. I mean, it says it's plus 30% chance for skills to grant a debuff. But I don't know. I don't know if that, and this would help. If it does, can't guarantee if it does, but if it does apply to, I mean, actually, you know what? Never mind, take that back. Exsanguinate is a debuff.
Yeah.
Times 1.3 chance to do that. Yeah, that's a good shout. Good looks. For sure. If you want to apply Exsanguinate even better, this ain't a bad shout at all. Of course, you're gonna lose out on the machine equipped stuff because who cares?
That's just a damage reduction, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not really a big of a deal. But yeah, this 1.3 times 30% chance extra could be super strong on her. So yeah, good shout, Panda.
Cool.
One other thing that we've talked about before for ailment users for arcs is this Ark, a man-made ether. Why? It essentially, this plus 3% chance of research skills activating is essentially doubles your 3% chance innately. Giving each of the base innate researches at neutral resist into 6%, which is huge. If you ever wanted to use and be an ailment STD spammer, this is it. This is going to be your most effective arc for that. And yes, it is an R arc, and I do have it at plus 288.
Weak.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you probably have more, to be honest. But yeah, plus 3% chance. This is probably the best ailment enabler in the game, arc wise, for your regular attacks. So, and it's an R, pretty nasty. I use this all the time with like DXR, V.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's probably pretty much it. Those are two fantastic ailments, but yeah, for them
Mainly
especially, and for
DXR.
melee, if you wanted to lean into a regular attacks and apply ailments super easily, yeah, that's one to use. Dope. We have other stuff going on. Should we talk
A lot of
about the
other
event?
stuff, bro.
We talk about the event. I mean,
We
but
should-
it's nothing crazy, right? If we had
No.
a melee event, I'd be super hyped to get into
Yeah.
that. But we have some cool stuff.
We do.
The cool stuff, not only that is right now, will probably lead into the future for even more cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important part of this, I think. The fact that the snowball's happening.
It's the setup.
Oh, hell yeah. So,
Mhm.
the events that we have right now, of course, Tower of Trials, go do that. Get your free 2K gems. And get your 2,000, I think it's like 2,100 resource for the trade shop to get snag some radiances. Sure. But the Trials of the Summon Beast. I have barely touched this because I think it's just kind of an annoying event, to be honest.
It's expensive for
It's
orbs.
super orb heavy,
Yeah.
and you got to farm the point of this entire event is to essentially get these rings from the shop and then go upgrade them in the Godforge. That's all it is. So you find these coins, you farm the coins in the event. Then you farm the not this one. Summon one, try with some of these ones. You find the shards from the event that correlate to the specific ring, upgrade them to plus 40 so you can Godforge them with this right here, the Summon Gem Fire, and the one found in the mission rewards, which is right here. If you do
Down
it
there.
30 times, you get another one.
Yep.
And then you take all of that after you've, maxed out the thing at plus 40 within the event tab. And you put these to... Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. You put these to plus... You craft them, you put these to plus 40.
Yep.
You go to the Godforge and you do one single step and you upgrade it to what its final form should be. There's no plus 40 in a Godforge. It's literally just you take the base item, you stick it in Godforge, and this is what you get back. Notably, what I said before, this takes 2 of these, so you get one from the clearing the stage itself, and then one from doing it 30 times, and then it costs a God Sphere and a light of the assorted variety.
Mm-hmm.
So, are they anything crazy? These are accessories. But the most important part about, before we even get into what these are, they're adding Godforge accessories to the game, which is what we've been asking about.
Finally.
How long? How long?
Since they added Godforge.
just realized that. Holy
This is the first time. This
We've
sets the
literally never
precedent.
had accessories.
Oh my
This
god.
sets the precedent for everything coming forward.
I just got way more excited.
You should be
Oh.
having a little bit of an excitement going on.
Oh,
over there,
I
yes.
should have given that a shout. Damn. That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Sets the
Yep.
precedent. It's
Uh-huh.
literally.
Let's go.
I brought that up probably I don't even remember how many months, but months ago in how to fix Last Cloudia, or I think it was 5 QOL that we need. And I literally said accessories in the alchemy tab.
Yep.
So shame on Buddha for not spotting
Shame on
that
Buddha.
and calling it
Unbelievable.
out, but that is dope.
And, all right, so notably, we have these 4 items in the game, and this event's based on like summons, right? So not every summon is so far shown in this. We have Salmia, Igni, Granadaria, and Yggdrasil. We also have Lugmekia and Babalad. So expect those to happen in the future. I mean, I would expect them to. I don't expect them to just leave it with these 4. But yeah,
No.
that would be kind of cool.
I wouldn't expect them quickly, but
No, not even close. But this is a recurring event, right? I think that's important.
it is.
Both of these events for the Beast Mania and the Trials by Summon, or whatever it's called, Trials of the Summon Beast, these are recurring, in which they noted in the notice that it's regular, or not regular, these will be coming back regular, I think the verbiage they used. So
Yes.
expect these back. This is going to be like your, oh hey, we've had a the Puckle invasion, shit like that. Like this is going to be kind of like that though. You're going to bring them back. You're going to have the chance to get all these items. You don't need to rush. Of course, if you want to grab one of them and Godforge one of them, great. I'm not rushing. I think the orb cost is crazy right at this moment, and I just don't feel like doing them very often. But some of them are pretty good. Now let's talk about what they are. Let's talk about the fully Godforged version.
That's all that matters.
Salmia Frenoband.
While you do that, I'm going to the restroom.
It essentially, Battlestar gives, first of all, 92 defense, 92 mind, giving fast fort, fast Matisse, fast speed, as well as 3 SCT, which we've not seen on too many items, accessories, and being something that everyone can get whenever it comes back. I think that's pretty cool. This is probably the best of the bunch, but we do have Igni's Pyroband, being 86 strength, 86 intelligence, 10 earth resist, as well as fire, physical, and magical attack plus 10%. Solid. As an accessory, that's solid. Granadaria, same thing as the other one, except for ice this time, as well as fire resistance. Sure, useful. Yggdrasil is interesting because, 600 HP is nothing to shake your head at. 30 MP, 52 defense, 52 mind, 10 thunder resist, nice to have. But when revived, autocast Brave, Fort, Aura, and Matisse. This isn't the craziest one because it's conditional on being revived, which I don't love because I don't plan on dying that often. It's just nice to have another fast buff thrown onto them when they get revived. So I don't see this ain't that bad at all. So cool. Let's look at the other event, the Beast Mania. Funny enough, we only have 2 availabilities for this right now for snagging, gobble and ghoul things. Number 1, you can get the sticker if you beat the final wave. Now, if anyone's seen the cheese way of doing it, you can just throw on Spirit Riot and kill this boss without having to do literally anything. And that's pretty cool. But if for people having trouble with that, there is a way to cheese it before I don't know if they'll patch that, but throw on Spirit Riot, apply Spirit Riot, or use the Leukemia Arc, or Ghost Team Arc, and you can literally just kill this without doing anything. Run around the map, kite him around. It'll just tick his health and kill him. But yeah, you can get a little sticker. I can't really exactly show you from this menu, but you get a little sticker, which is pretty cool. The Gobble one is a little bit harder because you can't really... I haven't found a way to cheese it yet. I kind of just nuked him with Eldravana. But the boss has like 800,000 MP or HP, and you get a little bit of a sticker whenever you complete it. So, kind of cool. Of course, these other maps, this one doesn't really give anything to it. You're gonna want to be farming the hard maps if you want to farm their souls. It does give a ton of souls when you complete it, but 1 SC or 1 orb to use it. Trading space though, We have their specific items, which is kind of cool. This Gobble Sword, I mean, again, it's nothing crazy, but you can snag this from the shop. The Ghoul Magic Joker is snagged from the shop, and these can be Godforge upgraded. Notably, they added these prisms in here, specifically for the event because you need a prism to order to Godforge them. Now let's go back to Godforge. Let's look at what they're bringing. The items aren't anything crazy. It's just kind of funny that they're giving them unique items to monster units, right? So Gobble Sword M, physical attack damage plus 10% to 204 strength for a Gobble only weapon. That's super funny. I do wish they would have had an effect on this of like giving a thicker proc of like insta kill on his S3. That would have been absolutely hilarious.
Oh
but
my god.
or like increased break or something like that would have been cool. But no, it's just physical attack damage plus 10%, and his physical DPS ain't nothing to write home about in the first place. So it's not that important. It's just funny that he is a unique. But what I was saying before, you're gonna need souls and you're gonna need a prism to use. Now I have him in max, so like I couldn't have possibly got another prism from the shop, but they add an extra one for you to use to Godforge this. Not only that, the Ghouls one along the same lines of using a prism and souls. His actually is the highest crit rate accessory in the game for like non. I mean, yes, this is specific to Ghoul, but like outside of Paids, this is the highest I think crit rate we've seen on anything. Which is super funny. 450 HP, 70 strength, 41 defense, and then crit rate plus 4%. Ailment and illness resist, or poison and illness resist. Sure. Again, it's Ghoul. Like, don't expect too much from Ghoul. It's just funny that he has a Godforge. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things from this update, which I think I'll talk about, we'll get into the gacha manners in a second, is going to be the Paco cookies, right, Deimos? Auto run your damn story events, because every single map you run on auto run in story maps is going to give you 2 of these Paco cookies. Why do you want these Paco cookies per se? Why would you want these? Well, they give some pretty amazing things. For 500 and then 1,000 for the last 2, you can get Prism Exchange tickets. What does this do? Well, you can use these Prism Exchange tickets in the Prism Exchange Prism trading space, which has prisms for all of the male units in the game, pretty much. All the DOH at least, DOH and Perm units. You can use these for any of these. I chose the homies, Maja, Loug Zeus, and Ardeen, because I'm a simp for the meta.
That's exactly what I picked, and I don't even
amazing,
have Maja.
Crazy. More Tumoresi on Loug, great. Tumoresi on Maja, great. Tumoresi on Ardeen, sign me up. Of course, you can pick any of the male units. I would strongly suggest to avoid picking permanent units in general for this, just because those can be gotten on any banner, pretty much. And DOH are going to be much, much more rare to get dupes of and to expand your SC set. So you can use them on whoever you want, of course. I'm just giving a suggestion. Probably use them on rare DOH units that you either have or plan on getting in the future. Yeah, pretty nasty. Other good shouts. I mean, Shift Zekis always loves more FC. Shift Kyle, if you like him, I probably wouldn't use him. Ruto being a defensive tank, maybe. Shift Lanceville loves it. He's pretty recent. Sheeta's gonna love some extra SC. Baron. Yeah, I mean, you have your choice, right? Some pretty nasty units. Buda's not back yet, but let's talk about. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the rest of the shop first, because there's some really good stuff. You still, even after you get the prisms, you still want to be farming this. Why? You can get free Ethereum. You can get free Mega Clusters, 3 Rainbow Mega Clusters. We can get a bunch of different colored Mega Clusters, Mother Souls. Like, it's super high value in the shop. Hi, Buda. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. I just got back.
We talked about the Beast event and all the stuff you can get in there. We talked to finish the Godforge there. We finished the Paco trading space. But I want you to talk about what else we got. What other is going on what other event is going on in this moment, and why it's super dope.
Oh goodness, I didn't.
I know you made a video about this, but I'm putting you on the spot. So
I did. Let's talk about White Day, everyone.
What is White Day, Buda?
White Day is a foreign day to the U.S., but luckily, we've got a lot of weeaboos playing Last Cloudia.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. And they informed me that in Japan, Uh, it's basically the Valentine's Day for men, right? So there's an emphasis over in JP in a male and female relationship that Valentine's is about the female. And then they came up with White Day, that is then the female returning the favor, taking their significant other, their male partner, out on the town, I guess, getting them gifts and whatnot. So we now have that transferred over to the U.S. Doesn't quite hit the same over here, I would say, but we have it. It's here, and I'm not mad at it, because an all-male banner in Last Cloudia introduces some very potent units that you can now guarantee yourself for 30,000.
No shit. And some people that we did not expect to be on this goddamn banner.
No,
Like, oh my god.
you may
Dude,
need
no
to
way.
apologize to the community. Bro.
I think I might have to. I apologize for telling everyone that Ardeen was not going to be on here.
Yeah.
But like, first of all, not only in chat were we told that it's generally going up to Shift Lanceville, but Ardeen's 2 months old.
He is.
And
He's
people
very
2 months
recent.
ago, if they wanted him, they had to pity him for 90K 2 months ago.
It feels bad.
So here's the
In
thing.
that
Here's what I'm
sense.
saying right here. With this banner in mind, with other banners in mind, it honestly tells us that units aren't even needed to pull for right away. If this happens 2 months after an OP unit releases, what's the point in pulling right away? Honestly.
I don't think there is one. I think for free to play / budget players,
No, it's like never pull.
literally
crazy.
it's literally hoard your crystals until we get these 30K banners. That is it. That is the
Yup.
only advice I'm ever going to give for any budget free to play. Mainly free to
crazy.
play.
It's
It is.
crazy. Because,
Yeah, it really is.
and I hate to say it, but just like, this is what you wait for, right?
Yep, this
and you
is
know
the
what?
one.
We talk about 30K, right? 30K to guarantee one unit. But you know what's funny about that? I'm going to bring this up here, and I know you can't see it on screen.
Mm-hmm.
But the absolute rates of these units
I
are
haven't
absurd.
even looked at them.
So it is all male units in the game, right? Like all DOH, all perm units. So the rate on each one is 0.083%, but it doesn't include any of the other permanent units
Right.
in the game.
So it
So
narrows
in
down
that
that
30,
pool.
in that 30K, sure. I know I just saw Primordial say in chat, paid 30K for Loug Zeus, but literally got Ardeen, Crystal Gorm, and Sheeta on the way.
Yep.
Or,
This is the one.
You know, pitying for Loug Zeus. You can get Maja, Ardeen, Shit Gorm, like anyone else on the way to do that.
And free crystals, everyone.
Free crystals.
Free
Like-
crystals. We now have the actual value step-up banners for free crystals
Huge value.
in the game.
These,
This is what you're
the
saying.
Valentine's Day, White Day, huge value. We will have DOH step-ups, I'm assuming, because we had one last year. We'll probably have that again some point in the year. I don't know,
Right.
because this is so high value. I don't know if that's going to happen again right away
Right.
or soon from here. But this is just disgusting value. The fact that you can, and I know we talked about, like, you talked about, what are the best units to take from this, right? Because there's a couple options. Loug Zeus is not the only answer to this, in my opinion, honestly. If you have a very good physical DPS already, Maja has stupid high value for you.
Yep. I think you're going to say everything I would say.
Right. Maja has stupid high value, while Loug Zeus is fantastic. Dude, if you're pulling for Loug Zeus and you get Maja along the way, congratulations. If you're pulling for Maja and get, like, Loug Zeus and Ardeen on the way, like, oh my god.
You win. You won. You
The
literally
30K
got the
here,
best value.
even if you get no one else, the 30K here to snag a guaranteed Loug Zeus, Maja, Ardeen, which are my 3 picks of the top units in this. Sheeta going to be a little bit after that, just because he doesn't have the highest DPS, but he has super high utility for teams. Those 4, realistically, are going to be like the ones I would go after, right? Depending on who you have in your party.
Yeah.
Maja also unlocks that crazy EXP farm, which further unlocks the speed of getting your one-time 1,000 crystal gems from leveling units to 100. That's going to increase your pace of your play.
Yep.
He's super broken in tower. And Loug Zeus is just Loug Zeus. He's literally disgusting in almost every area of the game. So
He is.
you
But
choose. Those
you
are
do.
my top 2 picks, and if you have both of those on the way, Ardene's disgusting.
So I think I formulated kind of my recommendations that I give for this banner during my live streams earlier today over on Twitch. If you guys aren't
Yeah.
following me over there, just go help your boy out playing some Elden Ring. But
Nice plug.
thank you. It started out with obviously shouting out Loug Zeus. But now, after further thought, I'm basically right there with you. But with
The
a couple,
value.
with the value. So if you're starting the game and you re-rolled, you watched a re-roll guide, you got yourself any kind of decent DPS. Let's say you just started during the Calabri run for Slime,
Rimuru.
and you
Hopefully
started,
you reroll for Rimuru.
you re-rolled, you got Demon Lord Rimuru. Maja
Yep.
is who I recommend you getting from this guaranteed, right? And like you were
No
saying,
doubt.
like you might get these characters on the way to the 30K. That's what's so crazy about this banner. So, but let's just say you don't. You get to 30K Maja, okay? Let's say you started the game now. And
Hopefully you reroll for melee if you were going to, because I
Yeah.
think that's super high
You
value. But
reroll for
hopefully you reroll
melee.
for melee.
yes.
Once you get melee, it doesn't matter who you. I mean, honestly, if you
would,
reroll for melee, it does matter because at the end of this,
Yeah.
Maja 100%. If you have melee,
Maja.
and like I
So-
said before, if you have any current physical DPS at this moment, fill out your kit with a mage.
Okay, so let's say you re-rolled, you got melee. You started
Yeah.
just now. You're
Sure.
on your way, and you get Maja. Depending on your arc
Your
setup,
choice at that point.
if you're a brand new player, I would personally recommend Ardeen for Loug.
Dude, I mean, sure, Loug Zeus, Ardeen, or Sheeta at that point, like you're set. You already have two aspects of the game you're completely taking advantage of right now. You have the amazing physical DPS with ailments, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Maja, who's going to literally nuke a ton of content for you, and then you literally can use whatever you want at that point. Whatever spice you're feeling that day. Loug Zeus, Ardeen, and Sheeta are going to be great. And like you said, having a non-attribute attacker is super high value.
Non-attribute attacker that doesn't need Sandworm or Caldina. That's the thing. That's just nuts, man.
I don't disagree with you.
For a new account.
What do you think, Panda? I know we're not saying
have-
Loug Zeus is the guaranteed at all points, but like that's just.
There's a lot of it's not super simple.
You may not need the DPS of Loug Zeus right away. Like you just don't.
Or you can't
You may not
access
be able
it.
to, and you may not be able to build him right away.
Can't access
and
it.
he will come back. But to guarantee you a hell of a start, dude, if you reroll for melee, get either melee or get rather Ardeen or Maja or Loug Zeus or Sheeta on the way, and just like pity Maja. Like that's
your gold. Your start
for PvE content, tower, like oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, Loug is still definitely a 10, Chuck.
100%.
He's still a 10. There's no doubt about it. There is still
the value for new players is just different, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's still nothing like Loug at true endgame. There really isn't.
I don't have like any videos on him because it's just like it's the same shit. He just steamrolls everything. So I think that's why people get like confused as to why he's so good, but like I just don't have videos on him because it's just like it's the same shit.
Just go watch my how to build Loug Zeus video and watch how I treat the bosses, the enemies that I fight. He still does that to everything to this day. It's the same thing. But yeah, I think just we don't see him because end game players we like to switch it up and have new flavors, right? Like we don't want to just use Loug for an entire infinite amount of time. It's boring.
No.
But
dude, super high value for anyone
this is
who's
crazy.
missing any of these units.
Yes.
And being completely free gems, which I hope people are. That's the issue with Gacha players is that they generally are. A lot of them are horrible at saving.
They are, but I mean, it's not like you are just then you're just giving into your gambling addiction. Like,
Yep,
and that's
yep, yep,
fine.
yep.
Do you play how you want to? But
for-
now that we have the Valentines and then like literally gonna be followed up by this White Day banner, and as a free to play player, there is zero reason for you to ever spend on anything except these and maybe the potential unit DOH selector banner that might return, or the permanent Ark selector banner that comes around where you can like guarantee yourself Caldina and Sandworm. But after that, these two, it's all seasonal, all DOH. There's collabs, right? Of course, I'm forgetting about collabs where people are going to get real tempted.
Yeah. And we did just have 2 collabs, like real
And
quick.
we just had collabs back to back. But I mean, I would argue
This is what we wait for.
I would argue that the units on here, and for the price that you can guarantee them to your account, it's still not worth it unless you're just a die-hard collab fan for those characters. Like, I wouldn't say Levi is better than the top picks here. I wouldn't say Demon Lord Rimuru is better than the top picks here.
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. But the fact that you can guarantee these units is the biggest drawing point.
That's the biggest thing. You can spend all your free to play crystals on collabs and walk away with nada.
Yep.
Or you can guarantee yourself something super top tier for a third of the pity price here, and get stuff along the way.
Levi and Shivering are pretty busted. So I mean, those are some extraordinary circumstances. But if you pulled Shift Milim or like Mikasa, and that's in Aaron, and that's like all you have, and it's just like you can get something better. For sure.
Yeah, I may have overstepped with that because I'm using Shrimmeru.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm just trying to drive the point home, guys. I'm trying to sell you on how valuable this is. It's insane. This is what crazy. I wanted to see when I started playing, and now we finally have something like that. I'm also like on my second beer, so I'm a little more animated than.
Oh my god, you're such a lightweight.
I don't party like that anymore, man. You guys are my only friends.
That's funny as hell. This is just a fantastic banner. I think we've just hashed it out for the last like 15 minutes.
We did.
It's fantastic.
That's the point. This is what you save for free to play. Period. At least save 30K. Even if you got to go in on a collab, save 30K. Because if you get shafted in the collab, then you can at least have a brand new fresh toy guaranteed shortly after the beginning of the year. We don't know what the end of the year has in store for us, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, nasty. This was a crazy update, dude. Melee, an incredible unit. We have the Ark, which is disgusting. I know it's only at a 0.4% chance, but anyone who gets it, congratulations. And then White Die banner, like so much good stuff.
It was.
So much good stuff.
You want to go into the stone buffs?
Oh.
Did you forget?
We could do that. If anyone saw my little video about Chrome, I did forget about that.
Do you want to
talk about those?
I was gonna say, do you want to speed run through it? I don't know how you're feeling about it.
Like, listen, you and I and Panda all know what they got for buff generally, right? Is there anything you want to talk about, like how good they got, like a very good buff? Any notably ones like we have any 5 of these?
I mean, they just like it. Let's start with the 3 originals. Like they got nice caps.
Senku was interesting, right? So
was
like
different.
I generally don't use him for magic at all. I generally use him for being a buffer, like an innate damage buffer to the entire team, right? If you're using elemental, like the first 4 attributes. And he got that buffed about up 5%, and that's pretty much all I'm really excited about for him, because he got an HP boost, sure, which makes him a little tankier because he has that weird trait or weird passive that gives him damage reduction. But nothing crazy for him, I don't think. Of course, if you've been using him as your mage, then it's a huge buff for you. Not my go-to buff of the bunch.
No.
Kohaku though, pretty awesome. She got some really, really good damage multipliers as well as huge damage caps. She got a straight up 10k boost. I think it's from her. she originally had 3K. Yeah, 7,000. Oh wait, they actually improved this. Never mind. They improved all levels, right? So this now says 7,000 at 4th enhance. At 5th enhance goes to 10,000. And she also got like some extra 3,000 on one of her skills. So I mean, she got done a ton of bonus. Earth bounty, thank you. And she got another 5K on her actual S2, which is at max. Her special got an extra, what, 30? Is this 30K?
30.
I think this is 30K at max,
30,
right?
yeah.
30K at max. What the heck? It's pretty ridiculous. I have yet to 5th enhance her. I know some people are having some fun with her. So I am definitely going to do it. I just don't have radiances for it. And I have other priorities to do so, like these units and Chrome and stuff. But I plan on doing her 5th enhance eventually when that time comes, because I'm excited to see her in action. But she got a great buff. Is she, current meta? Maybe not, but dude, she closed the hell out of that gap.
She's gonna feel way better for the Kohaku.
Way
simps.
better. 100%.
I would argue she is actually.
Oh, that's not even a problem, dude. She
Like,
has
her
phenomenal hit counts and damage multipliers and caps now.
and her
Still-
SCT
especially-
regen is still amazing. She has that one skill that regens it
On
It's
regular
fucking-
attacks, yeah, it's pretty
She's
nice.
so good.
Mm. Still the
is there no
fastest
effects? No.
S1 to the date, right?
Still a crazy S1 too. Yeah. I mean, her mobility is insane. Flipping around the map. She's always been a very good unit. She's never been. She's lacked in like the top tier power creep stuff that's been happening lately. But she got a crazy nice buff, and I'm excited to use her eventually. Tsukasa got a pretty nutty buff. He got a bunch of damage cap and a bunch of damage cap to his skills.
Yeah.
Bunch of damage cap to his special. Like, he didn't. This is what he was lacking before, was because his hit counts were kind of low. His hit count versus damage cap ratio just wasn't always that good. For meta stuff, he was always a very good breaker, and that doesn't change when he gets into 5th enhance at all. So that's gonna stay the same. But his Rida Spear, which is his orbital nuke that I loved using when he came out and still love using and seeing people just instantly faint, got an extra 12,000 damage cap at 5th enhance, as well as he got an extra, I think, 2K cap on his trait. Yeah, his critical damage cap goes up to 7,000 now, which this doesn't change. This must not be upgraded at final. But and they got an extra, I think it was 3K cap for
On one of his
the one part of where
skills.
so he got a bunch of cap, which is really good for him because the main skill of his party or his ability kit is going to be his S3, which he has insane feint value in PvE. He has insane break value in PvP, insane feint value, and insane break value in PvE, as well as having that like feint innate like thing that Davin has, that like 5% chance against enemies to feint them immediately. That's super useful in a lot of
that's
content,
cool.
especially PvP. So he already had that, but he got a nice buff to what he could do already. I mean, they could have gone further and gave him a shit ton more cap and improved pursuits and all that kind of stuff to make him meta, but they just didn't, and that's fine. He is a breaking god still with his S3, and they gave him a really nice buff. So I'm happy to see that he got some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The other two, and we'll get into the one I upgraded last, but Gen didn't need anything,
I did
which
not.
is the funniest part about that.
Yeah. People
They
wanted.
literally-
I don't know what people were expecting with Get, but like I expected very minimal things, and that's
Very
exactly
minimal.
what he got.
That's exactly what happened. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Gen is still a crazy good support
So
and a
nuts.
really, really good unit. But they gave him no attribute attack raise 3, which is going to be an extra 30% on his physical or on his non-attribute damage, which he is, as well as another 2K cap, which just in general helps his Goddess Kiss procs, helps you be support, helps him run that SCT or the MP regen builds, stuff like that. So he didn't need anything. I still use him a good bit of the time. Not only that, his boosted trait, I think it is. This turns into 30% physical attack and damage
Yes.
and science attack magic buff. This upgrades from 25 to 30, so it only makes him better. And I almost guarantee you I will be using him in arena still to bump some damage up. So one of my favorite units to use still to this day, and he got even better at the moment.
I just
And honestly, I don't give a crap about what they added to his kit. The fact that he now has more SC for me to use is enough.
Uh-huh.
There you go. See?
Yeah. I
10 more
five-starred
SCT.
him. I five-starred him out of respect. Just
Dude, I don't blame
immediately.
you. He was
Yeah.
he was one of the first units on your account that was just absolutely amazing.
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
Like you got Jake and it was like, wait, why is he this good? And I'm like, yo, here you go. Here's the SCT or the MP regen. But you're like, holy
He was my
Let's go.
second unit to 6th Awaken.
nice.
He's a special
Nice.
unit for your boy Buddha.
Um,
But
the last
Chrome, this
Chrome, and
guy.
I made a video about this pretty nutty.
You did.
They gave him the most important parts of the stuff that they gave him with 5th Enhance. They gave him his 35% chance battle start steal. Now it was a 45% chance battle start steal. So basically 50% of the time, you're going to steal without any effort at all by having him in the party an item from the enemies. This does stack with other Chromes involved. So if you have a Chrome as a support friend, you're getting two 45% chances. Let me just...
Yeah, it's pretty.
You have
nutty.
70% chance to steal in every single enemy if you have 2 of them. Like, that's crazy, first of all, at battle start. And then, they also gave him a friggin' steal on kill. Which, I mean, okay. Nothing crazy. No, it is. Because all
Gacha
steel
who?
procs...
Yeah.
All steel procs are going to be independent, but as long as only one procs, you're going to steal that item. He has a 45% chance on his battle start to steal an item, a 20% chance when he kills, and you can add items on his kill. You can add Bangle Master Thief for another 10% chance. You can add his paid for another 10% chance. Like,
He's
that's
the
crazy.
undisputed stealing king. There's just
yeah, and if
There's-
anyone hasn't seen the video, I explain this fully and try to give you guys examples for it. I did put a video out on my YouTube. What was that, yesterday?
yeah.
So, yeah. And again, he is limited, but his 5th enhance buff got jacked up, and you love to see it. You'd love to see a unit get even better at what their niche already was, and he definitely got that.
I think overall these 5-star stone buffs, they just stood out amongst the majority of 5-star buffs that
They
we've
did a
seen.
great job buffing them. Gen needed literally nothing. They could have left him at 5th enhance and
Exactly.
giving him nothing, and it just boosted his traits, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Chrome got exactly what he wanted to become an even higher tier auto farmer. Senku didn't get that much in my opinion. I know he got like minus 20% against humans, minus 20% damage against humans, which is cool. And got that extra boost. He was probably the least buffed out of all of them, if in my opinion,
I agree.
because I just
If you don't
his
use magic.
If
you don't use
again,
magic.
if you don't use magic, with that said, his magic does hit very, very hard for science magic. So if you have him and you are using him for magic, he will slap. But Kawaku and Sugatsu got very good buffs.
Yeah.
Kawaku got exactly what she needed. I think of course, they could have even given her more, but I think they moderated it pretty well. And Tsukasa got some good buffs too. So
Speaking of Kohaku, the skill I was thinking about earlier was Tweeka's encouragement.
because
Uh,
encouragement,
mhm.
I can go look
It's
at that right
fucking
now.
amazing. Pardon my language.
Yes,
it is
Suika's-
amazing on her.
It doesn't
Like,
matter now. Doesn't matter now.
Um,
Just in the beginning.
Let me see about.
So
Here's the thing. I know it says physical. Okay, it does have it. All right, cool. It's per stock, right? Like this is if it was
Mhm.
per head, it'd be amazing. Or it'd be honestly absurd. But it is per stock. So once a skill is involved, each stock used is gonna have a 20% chance to give you plus 2 SCT overall. Which, again, nothing you should like hardcore main for, but it's just an additive boost to it.
Yeah.
So that's just nice to
It's
have.
like what's the skill? Quick reload before quick reload was a thing.
Kinda, yeah, absolutely. Just a very minimal quick reload, but like as we love for the physical DPS, any SCT regen is good SCT regen.
Absolutely.
especially with her S1 is what I was
Mhm.
getting at.
Zoomies, she's the
She does have
OG
the zoomies.
Zoomy, man. She is so fast. Yeah, and I remember I know
Absolutely.
people in chat are saying like Kohaku beat the game for me, dude. I remember when she first came out. Do you guys do you remember?
Yes.
Panda, when she first came out, we were like, "Oh, tower's pretty hard. Like you're gonna have a rough time." And
Nope.
Kohaku came out, she just blitzed the entire thing. She blitzed all of story that was available. Like
That's great.
she was the most powerful unit when she arrived.
We had somebody start the game when she came out. They got her, and then a month later, they completed the entire tower with just her.
And this is early tower, right? The early tower, you
Holy
needed a
cow.
bunch of stuff to complete it. You couldn't do it right away with a lot of units, like at all. She was the
Wow.
first unit that just absolutely blitzed the entire thing. And I was using her for a long time just because of her S1 clears. You could just do tap S1, tap S1, tap, kill everything. Like, it was hilarious. But yeah,
Damn.
she's a great unit, and if people who have her now, she got a very good buff. So definitely look out for improving these units and enhancing them because they're gonna be a lot of fun.
And sad for people who are Dr. Stone fans.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
kind of like
that's-
correlates a little bit to like never coming back, which is
Right.
sad.
Right. It's kind of the warning sign. Which
Maybe.
maybe, but
Exactly.
it seems that
I
way.
mean, it was like, what, 2 years between?
2 years, almost 2 years exactly since they came out.
That
Yeah,
reran.
since her original release, about 2 years, almost exactly.
In regards to what? Oh,
Block
since she
coming out.
came out. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This does set a precedent, though, which I think is more important than anything else. That collab units can get buffed outside of reruns.
Which
So
we were told.
many people, which we were told, yes, we were given the hint towards, but we didn't know when it was going to happen or know how. But their buffs are solid, and we can see that we have some more units that need buffed. ReZero and DMC still need buffed. That means that there doesn't have to be a rerun. Although I would love collab reruns because, cool stuff you can always get at least something free and cool out of it. Amelia and Rem could be absolutely disgusting if they got buffed. Nero, Dante, V's not gonna get anything. Unfortunately, he's not gonna get shit. But
Shh.
There's no way they're not going to do a DMC rerun. I would be
I would be
shocked.
I would be surprised if
I
they
would
didn't
be
as well because
shocked.
that was their first. I don't know. The first stone was pretty big besides the whole Sukkot thing, but this was their first really successful, strong collab
If
was DMC.
I'm remembering correctly, it was their most successful ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still requested to this day. Like, they are going to make bank when they rerun it. So there's no way
It'd
they're
be
going
easy
to buff.
too. Just add in Virgil, give him
Yep.
5th enhance.
They're
done.
literally, yeah.
We have shifts available.
Don't even need
now.
other units.
if they want to shift V into Virgil, apparently that's a thing. They probably could. We have shifts now for collabs. I'm okay with it. I taught V every skill in the game. If they do that, cool deal. Makes it easy on me. But yeah, sets precedent. Setting precedent is very important. Just like with the Godforge accessories, with collabs getting buffs without reruns, I'm here for it. That just improves everyone's experience, in my opinion.
Hell yeah, boys.
Well, Buddha,
I'm trying
well,
to think. I don't think I got
I think
nothing.
that's probably it. Melee is nasty.
Melee is a nasty girl. I don't think she's breaking the game anywhere. She's
No,
just
but
super
just
fun.
like V, if there's ailments that you can just nuke an entire boss's potency, super high value. And V has always done that. His value has never lost anything in this game. In all seriousness, I think I had to talk with a couple people today. Is V as good as he used to be? Yes. People just don't use him, but yes. In his niche scenarios, yes.
It's kind of like
Not even
the
close.
kind of like the Loug Zeus argument.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the only thing that's really changed in far as V's viability is his stats.
Right.
He's still pretty squishy and stuff hits a lot harder than it used to.
Yep.
Other than that, he's still just as good as he always was.
As an ailment spammer, as an IGC3 farmer, he has one of the
Oh,
highest
yeah.
values of any unit in the entire game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She adds to the fact that not only can she apply a shit ton of ailments, but she has the DPS to back it up.
Mm-hmm. And the
She's
funness.
not just a utility ailment spammer.
Right.
She will nuke, which is sick. Her S3 at max caps, her max caps for me in this perfect scenario is 57,000 dual wield. Okay, at 57,000 with 100k on that last hit, she's hitting for over 1.9 million in one S3.
That's
That's the shit I'm talking about.
yeah.
She can pump it out. if you set her up right. That's all.
Yeah.
Nasty.
That's, yeah, broke dick Ardeen versus Dragons level.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah.
With
Kinda.
the S3.
And you know what? You know what's great about her is that you're running a bunch of melees in multiplayer. Why not? If you want to, doesn't matter. Sure, you may not get the SCT. You rely on Pirate's Feast a little bit, but like everyone's applying ailments. Cool. If
Yeah.
one person has the paids, you're all like, you're success.
You're all buffed.
A lot of exsanguinate.
one Anolamel from the whole party, and everyone just nukes the entire map. Like it's just. And her with hitting with all of her damage multipliers, you know, enemies aren't. I think the highest we have in MP is like 75 res to light, and even then, like, nothing else is that. Most are like 25 or neutral or weak.
Yeah.
To light.
Not gonna
Like,
matter.
Being an ailment, oh dude, she's filthy in multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Filthy. She's not your wave clearer like
No.
a Roy, like a Shift Expet, like a. I want to say Rimuru, but damn that
Definitely
S3.
not. I know. I just
yeah.
watched that episode too,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. I have conflicted feelings because Rimuru, where he shines, it's absolutely disgusting, and it would have been too much for his S3 to be the whole map. But at the same time, I'm just like, dang,
Fully disagree.
what could have been? Have you been using him in Arena, Panda?
No, I'm saying like I fully disagree. His S3 couldn't have been as good as we wanted it to. Like, if Royce
Bro.
can, his can too. There's no reason it couldn't.
I see. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
sure.
Totally. Should I do this real quick since I haven't used her in here yet? Should I just? This is the first impression. You guys wanna-
Absolutely, bro.
You guys want to do this real quick?
Come
Let me just set her up and just
on.
shit on people.
Not
Here's
do
the
it
thing.
after the
So
podcast.
one caveat that I've always had with melee units in PvP, right, which is why I rate personally Roy, Shift Rimuru, Loug Zeus so high, and even Ardeen, especially Shift Merity, is that they can do things from range. Unfortunately for her, all of her things that
She's
she
up
has
close.
are melee.
Not her S1.
Correct. You are correct in that. It doesn't have the greatest hit count, so this is why I don't really consider it. But you are correct. I apologize. But her biggest hitters are S2 and S3, and her S3 being a warp. Being in melee range can get you in trouble. That's just a matter of fact. It can get you absolutely in
Undervalue
trouble.
her S1, dog.
I will not undervalue it, and we're going to see this in a second because I'm pretty sure I'm going to nuke everything.
It
I'm
is
try to.
a non-line of sight,
It is non-line of sight, correct.
non-radial. Like,
Correct.
just
Yeah,
sit in the
it's-
corner
you
just
just
like
do
you
the
did
thing.
with Rimuru.
You just
Yeah.
do the thing. Special boost for sure. We're going to add nothing. Okay,
She
cool.
got human. You need God.
don't-
I would put
I need
God.
fish. I don't know. I'm not gonna put anything. I'm just gonna add multipliers. Screw it.
Alright. Fair enough.
Fish.
So I can do silence, monkey baby for sure. Fast brave. She doesn't actually get, does she?
I don't think she has Brave.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think I need to add fast crit into her kit, but you know whatever. Awaken for sure, because why not? Weak point boost. I don't really. Yep. Sure.
Oh, they did the determination update with this one.
They
Yeah.
did. We didn't talk about that at all, but it's not that hard.
Panda. Any rebuttal?
I mean, I think it's amazing.
It's amazing they fixed a not working mechanic. I do think that's great. I do think that's pretty sick. But I do think it's crazy. I don't think so. From zero, should I use it? Nope. Baton of the Future, yes though. Let's take that. I don't have besties on anyone else in my arena yet because I haven't decided to teach
Do you
it.
have
But
Gaze
that's
of the End on somebody?
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I? I don't know.
You should.
I don't know. I should probably stack it on her too, to be honest, just because like an extra
it on all
proc
four.
of hers, maybe a proc chance. Yeah, sure. All right, let's
Literally
take
put it
these
on
off.
everybody.
Yeah, I probably should, to be honest. All right, let's look at do
It's just
Sinister
paids, yeah.
and the Paids. Yeah, the Paids is just it's just gonna be
Paids.
stop it, Dexter.
It wasn't a joke. If you have them, you don't take them off.
You don't take them off. No, at no point. Damn, dude. Okay, so actually this. Sure. And then we'll just use this. That's so much damage. All right. So the funny thing about her specifically is that her S3 has 3 stocks already. With Purple Orb, she gets 4, and so I'm gonna have 2
right out
2
the
stocks
rip.
of her S3 off the rip.
Oh, fish melee. Oh, well, this is awkward.
That's hilarious.
Well, damn.
Don't worry, I'll do another battle. I just like couldn't pass this up, and you know why.
It's okay. Just do
It's alright,
it.
you'll probably kill me. It's
Just
fine.
no, I won't. Just do it.
Hi, Mikasa. You're gonna get killed first. Alright, cool. Your stuff's gone. Let's go kill Ruto. So he is now doing the thing. And this is what we do. This is what non-line of sight stuff. We just go like this, and then we go S1s. I'm target on you. That's cool.
Goodbye,
whatever.
team. Oh shit. Yeah.
Why am I
Yeah, I
getting
love her
flinched
as
now?
baby.
well so
Oh, I
much.
didn't.
Come on, Ruto.
I'm gonna die probably.
Do your thing, Ruto.
I'm dying.
Come
I'm
on,
dying,
baby.
probably.
Come
Oh,
on,
he's-
represent for the Buddha gang, Ruto.
I forgot to give myself a barrier,
Do
so
your
I'm just
thing.
getting
Come on.
flinched for.
Come on, let's go, Mikasa. Do something. Oh, you suck. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
You're right. Her S1's pretty good. All right, cool.
I'm telling you, dude. Like after I used it, it went from S3, S2, S1 to S3, S1, S2 easily.
Nice.
Her S1 is amazing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
She's funny though. I do love her animation pose. Look at that shit.
Oh, that's
So good.
awesome.
She's sitting there upside down, floating. You love to see it.
Very cool.
Sorry, Buddha.
It's okay. You did your thing.
I ranked up. Oh my god, I'm at what, like 215 trophies.
Beginnings of arena.
So good.
So sick. Meanwhile, I was at what, 57,000 by the end of the last one. All right, let's try one more person that's not Buddha. Let's try a team that I think I could probably go find one on the actual list. Oh, Lax, I probably could have fought, honestly. We don't want to bully Solano again. He doesn't deserve that.
Disagree.
Papi! No, Papi Chulo. All right.
Papi.
Damn it, I skipped Lax again. All right, let's find Lax one more time, and we'll, because he is a good team. Am I gonna find it again? That's the question. Everyone loves this reset button. Stew Dog hasn't nearly updated. Leosh. Okay, 3 more. 1, 2. Okay, that's it. I quit.
Black.
Black had a good team. It was like 7,500 or 8,000 last time. So yeah, we're gonna go nuke Taria. I think that's how you saw it. We're gonna get Loug Zeus from the back.
Whoa, chill.
Oh, bro, chill. We're gonna nuke S. Oh, is 2B dead? No, not quite. She procced Awaken. Oh no,
Nice.
she's here. I'm gonna
Some
give myself a
nice
little barrier.
SCT. Yeah, those are good numbers.
Let's go try to kill Gorm, huh? Oh, Gorm's dead. Damn.
Huh.
Let's
I'm
go
not mad
to
at it.
S3. Oh, you have Exsanguinate? That's funny. I mean,
Yeah,
so
she's
I
fun.
mean, dude, she's comparable to things like Levi
Absolutely.
Mikasa. Like, it's not.
It doesn't.
She's gonna be very good in
It's
here.
yeah. It's not the same.
It doesn't
impact.
feel different to me, but her PvE is literally absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Solid.
Yeah, I'd be running her in multiplayer if I had her all day.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Pretty fun.
So.
Pretty fun. Oh, I got my warps for today. Very nice. Very nice.
Take 'em.
Thanks for letting me do that.
Well, I need to get to the reworking my defense. So anything you guys have to talk
Your
about?
defense is fine. You're literally
It's
looking
good.
at ridiculous units.
I know. No, it's good. I get some wins. I can't complain.
No, I think that's probably it. No.
Yeah, I'm going to circle back to the White Day banner and
Okay.
reiterate I don't expect anything super special to come from Anniversary.
Correct.
And I would 100% be getting a unit off this banner that I do not have. Like Loug Zeus, Sheeta, Maja, Ardeen. Any of those 4. If you don't have it, that's what I would do. I wouldn't bother trying to save up and wait for Anniversary.
I agree. Cool.
I don't disagree with that. There's sometimes you got to look at what's right in front of you instead of like projecting to the future, the unknown. This is one of those times that if you can guarantee yourself and spend 30k free crystals to guarantee yourself at least one OP as hell unit, well worth. We have no idea what's coming on anniversary. I mean, we have an inkling as to, it's probably going to be good. But like, dude, our anniversary units have been lacking. Like, honestly, our last anniversary units. I mean, Sheeta's fantastic in his own right, but he's nothing crazy, right? Shift Kyle on the last main JP Annie was good, nothing crazy. We've had DB Ray and Roland before that were the other anniversary units. So like, have we ever gotten a broken ass Annie unit? No, we haven't.
DB Ray's arguably the most standout unit in their
when he was
meta.
released.
When he was released.
I think probably he overtook Arena hardcore when he released. But broken wise, like no, he wasn't there.
Depends. If you actually look at when Roland came out, he was definitely far and above. But Global had Roland's release delayed by a few months.
After Logia for us.
So it was skewed differently. But like for JP, when he came out, he was
and I'm
far
talking
and above
JP,
everything.
Like, I'm not talking generally ours, but JP wise for them. Because their best physical DPS at the moment, I think, was like Celios or something. Like it wasn't crazy.
I think it was Del Mordo.
Del Mordo was already out for them, maybe.
I believe so.
Regardless, fun, very very good banner. If you can guarantee yourself a sick unit, this is what we look for. These kinds of banners are what we look for. We also had the Valentine's Day. That was also really good value for 30k, being like Shift Alice, M Theria.
Shift Eliza.
I think notably, Shift Eliza, Stinky was even there. I mean, most people probably wouldn't pull her, but like, really good banner for 30k. If you just spent those 60k, then that's it. You're pretty much set for like the entire year, dude.
Yep.
Like
you have the core team. It's done. Absolutely.
Yeah. Super high value. These are the banners we look for.
They are indeed. So the precedent is being set, and I think that's all we got for you this time, guys.
I think that's a good solid 2 hours and 50 minutes of
very much so.
Simping for Melee. So
yes. I'm sad I don't have her, but we'll see what the future holds.
You can get her in the future
if you want it.
Hey, guess what? That's the thing. Apparently, we can get units 2 months out from release on 30k step-up banners.
Gosh.
So, what's to say we don't get her in 2 months? Like, come on.
Exactly. So, future looks bright. Thank you to everyone who came out and listened to us talk for 2 hours. Thank you to my co-hosts, as always, for holding it down. Even when your boy Buddha does not get the unit, so I didn't have much to say, but crazy cool update overall, and apparently this is just the beginning. Barleen is really kind of hinting that a lot of heavily requested QOL and updates are approaching us for the anniversary. We'll obviously see what the execution of that looks like. I know I'm waiting to wait and play the armchair judge that we do as the players of the game. But
we would never do that.
No, we'd never do that.
Subscription question mark?
Subscription question mark?
That's all. That's the only thing you need to say is just question mark, because we don't know.
Exactly, we don't know.
Maybe.
But Barleen is hinting a lot at it. So I'm looking forward to the anniversary, not from a like unit banner standpoint, as Tweaks was saying and Panda was saying, but more so from QOL. So that's something that becomes kind of a lot more important over time. What?
That was the least voted thing.
I know. Just do collabs, guys. I did a poll, 416 votes. I'm sure a lot of people watching voted on it. 67% of 416 people voted that collabs reruns are what they're looking forward to this year. And then the last 30% were split between QOL and more story. So
it's kind of depressing.
It's really depressing.
13% more quality of life, and I was like, "What? Can we just?"
I feel like those have to be people who just missed out on a unit that they think is OP and they want it.
Probably.
Right.
They want that feeling of the power trip, and I get that.
So
they want a new unit that's going to be broken, or like have a collab that we haven't had yet. Yeah, That's a lot of Gacha players in a lot of games who come in and jump in and want their things now.
I don't want units. Give me saved set gear and skills for units, please.
Give me more dope step-up banners for free crystals, you know? It's just a lot that I think could help with player retention overall. So
100%.
hopefully, fingers crossed for what the anniversary brings. I know all three of us are looking forward to at least seeing what they bring to the table.
Uh-huh.
Like, subscribe, bell notifications for any of y'all who aren't yet. And with all that being said, guys, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.